Chapter 1459. Looking at the second monster that had appeared, a look of delight appeared on Zhao Fu's face. This was not just because there were more monsters, but also because the evil spirit abyss flower's abilities had reached the second stage. Moreover, the two monsters were even more powerful than before. With a wave of his hand, the two monsters turned into demonic qi and dissipated, returning to the city where Yi Jie was. Now, the faction was in chaos because the leader of the faction had died. Moreover, there was a person wearing a black cloak and leading a terrifying monster to devour the demon race. Their methods were extremely cruel and bloody, and the leader of the faction had been killed by that person. Yi Cha and Yi Ji naturally knew who it was, but they never thought that Zhao Fu would be able to kill the leader of a force so easily and cause such a huge commotion. When Zhao Fu returned, he quickly brought the two of them to the next location. Zhao Fu was not in a hurry to go to the historical remnant. He wanted to devour a large number of demon race people to continuously develop the evil spirit abyss flower's abilities and provide a large amount of demonic qi for the demon star. However, halfway there, Zhao Fu's group of 3 was stopped by 6 people. Their cultivations were all at the Saint Realm, and the person in the lead was at the Earth Realm. As expected, they were here to rob others. Zhao Fu hadn't been here for long, but he had already encountered them twice. This showed just how chaotic and cruel this place was. There were a total of 4 men and 2 women who stopped Zhao Fu's group. Of the 4 men, one was a ferocious-looking brawny man, one was an ordinary-looking middle-aged man, one was a vicious youth, and the last one was an ice-cold youth. Of the 2 women, one was wearing a red dress and was nestled in the bosom of the ferocious-looking man. Her appearance was extremely charming. The other had a slim figure and was not bad-looking, but she had a stern expression. The leader was the ferocious-looking big man. He had Earth Realm cultivation, and he pointed at Zhao Fu domineeringly as he yelled, "Boy, give us your valuables and the woman beside you to play with, and we'll let you go today." Facing so many powerful people, Yi Ji couldn't help but feel a bit nervous. However, Yi coldly laughed. "You pieces of trash want to touch me? You don't even know that you're courting death." The big man's expression became furious as he cursed. "You bitch! Everyone, let's kill the 2 men first. You can play with the women as you wish." Suddenly, a wave of demonic qi spread out as a tall figure appeared behind the big man. It was a powerful demonic body and gave off an incredibly terrifying aura. Just as the burly man finished speaking, a figure suddenly appeared, causing the burly man's expression to change and his body to stiffen. Cold sweat trickled down his back as he felt a wave of fear. The evil flower demon stretched out its massive claws and grabbed the big man's head. It gave a savage smile and gripped, causing the big man's head to explode like a watermelon. Brain juice and blood splattered everywhere, and the woman in his embrace cried out and hid to the side. The demon grabbed the strong man's headless corpse, opened its mouth, and swallowed the strong man's corpse in a single gulp. It looked quite savage, and then it attacked the others. Everyone else looked terrified and did not understand what was going on. However, they knew that they had encountered a terrifying opponent, and they naturally did not have any thoughts of taking revenge for the big man. After all, they had gathered for the sake of profit, so they immediately scattered and ran. A wave of demonic qi once again spread out as an evil flower demon appeared behind Zhao Fu. It swung its hands, and its 2 arms quickly stretched out, continuously becoming longer and longer. Its 2 palms became massive mouths that ferociously bit towards 2 people. The 2 people were given a fright and unleashed their defensive barriers, but a pair of illusory hands passed through their defensive barriers, causing the 2 people to feel quite confused. Before they could react, they were devoured by the 2 large mouths, causing blood to splatter everywhere. The other evil flower demon caught up to another person, and a massive claw pierced through that person's chest before biting down, causing a large amount of blood to spurt out. In order to differentiate between the 2 evil flower demons, Zhao Fu named them Long-Armed Evil Flower Demon and Demonic Evil Flower Demon. The long-armed evil flower demon's hands shot out and grabbed two women and brought them in front of Zhao Fu. The two women looked terrified, and the flirtatious woman pleaded, "Sir, as long as you don't kill me, I'm willing to do anything." The fierce-looking woman also said in fear, "Don't eat me. I'll submit to you." Yi glared at Zhao Fu in dissatisfaction. She understood why Zhao Fu was keeping these two women, and she said angrily, "Is it not enough to have me?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed. "It's nothing, it's just that he said he wanted to play with you, so I naturally have to play with his women." Yi angrily harumphed and crossed her arms as she turned her head to the side, ignoring Zhao Fu. Yi tactfully left, and soon, intense sounds could be heard. He not only heard the two women's lewd cries, but he also heard his big sister's cries. "Thank you, sir, for spoiling me. You're 100 times more valiant than the previous men," the flirtatious woman said with a red face as she hugged Zhao Fu in infatuation. The fierce-looking woman's face was also red as she panted and did not say anything. Yi did not say anything and powerlessly lay in Zhao Fu's embrace. She did not look angry and instead looked quite happy. Zhao Fu found out the two women's names. The flirtatious woman was called Lu Li, and the fierce-looking woman was called Yu Qingling. He also asked about this place and found out what factions, treasures, and demonic creatures were in this place. He found out that there was a terrifying demon wolf within a large mountain that often did evil everywhere. However, no one had been able to kill it, as it was incredibly cunning. If an enemy that was too powerful appeared, it would escape. Moreover, it was said that the demon wolf could take human form and liked beautiful men. It liked to capture them and play with them before eating them. However, the demon wolf was male. After hearing about this, Zhao Fu decided to head to that large mountain because Zhao Fu needed to devour high-grade demonic creatures. On the way to that large mountain, Zhao Fu encountered a few more groups of robbers, but they were all eaten by the evil flower demon. Zhao Fu destroyed a few bandit dens and ate 20,000 to 30,000 people, causing rumors to spread that there was a monster that specialized in eating demons. After a day or so, Zhao Fu and the others finally arrived at the large mountain. The aura that this place gave off was quite terrifying, and Ziyu, the little mouse, trembled in fear in Zhao Fu's embrace. A smile appeared on Zhao Fu's face because the more powerful the demon beast, the better. Now, Zhao Fu could clearly sense that the demon wolf was still within the mountain. However, in order to prevent it from escaping, Zhao Fu had to lure it out. Hearing that the demon wolf liked beautiful men, Zhao Fu lightly laughed and touched his face. He felt that he could use himself to lure the demon wolf, and with Zhao Fu's Earth Realm cultivation, it would be easy for the demon wolf to take the bait. Chapter 1460. Sir, you're abnormally handsome. It's the first time I've seen such a beautiful man. A black-haired, bare-chested young man with a wild look on his face smiled as he walked out, staring at Zhao Fu. By now, Zhao Fu had already taken off his cloak. With his peerless looks, he was confident that he could attract men, but using his looks to attract men felt quite strange. "You the demon wolf?" Zhao Fu did not hold back and asked as he looked at the young man. This caused the young man to feel slightly surprised, but he could sense that Zhao Fu only had Earth Realm cultivation and that the others' cultivations were also quite low, so he did not feel any fear and smiled as he said, "I'm the demon wolf? Sir, since you know who I am, why haven't you left? Could it be that you've come for me? Could it be that you want to spend the night with me? If that's the case, I can spare the others. With your beauty, I can't bear to eat you. How about we become husband and wife, and you become my wife? I already have divine realm power, and am about to break through to the extreme divine realm. If you follow me, I won't mistreat you." Hearing the demon wolf's words, Yi and the other women could not help but lightly laugh. They had experienced how domineeringly Zhao Fu had taken them, and now there was a man saying such a thing to him. Zhao Fu did not feel angry and lightly smiled as he shook his head, saying, "I think you're mistaken. I've indeed come to find you, but I'm not here to spend the night with you. I'm here to eat you." The demon wolf's expression became cold, and he became wary because he found that after Zhao Fu knew of his power, there was nothing to be afraid of. With how cunning he was, he immediately disregarded everything and tried to run. However, Zhao Fu had already exploded out with his nation armament's power. A massive wave of power turned into a massive green hand that gave off terrifying power as it grabbed towards the demon wolf. The demon wolf's expression fell, and he revealed his true form. A 10,000-meter long black wolf appeared in front of everyone. Its fur was like black iron, and its eyes were pure black, and it gave off a terrifying aura. Zhao Fu's cyan hand changed from a claw to a slap. With a heavy strike, the demonic wolf's huge body was sent flying. Now, the demon wolf's strength had almost reached the extreme divine realm, and facing Zhao Fu's nation armament, it was not weak at all. The demon wolf was sent flying and smashed into the ground, creating a large crater. The ground violently trembled and leaves rustled down. The demon wolf roared, and a shockwave rushed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu casually waved his hand and released a defensive barrier to block this ferocious chi wave. However, Demon Wolf did not want to continue fighting with Zhao Fu. He leapt forwards, planning to escape to the side. With his cunning personality, it was impossible for him to fight with Zhao Fu, who was just a bit stronger than him. Clang, clang, clang. Massive, cold, gray chains shot out from the ground, giving off a ferocious aura as they bound up the demon wolf in the air. They then vigorously pulled, dragging the demon wolf down from the ground. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out, and the ground shook violently. Dust flew everywhere, and rocks flew everywhere as a huge crater appeared. Roar! The demon wolf furiously roared and vigorously struggled, breaking 10 or so chains. Zhao Fu's cross-shaped pupil in his right eye quickly spun, increasing the power of the chains and summoning the 12 metal colossi. The 12 metal colossi gave off an enormous aura of killing and conquering as they floated around the demon wolf, giving off a terrifying suppressive power as they pressed the demon wolf to the ground. The demon wolf furiously roared and struggled with all of its strength, but could not break free at all. Seeing this, Zhao Fu gave a satisfied smile. 2 waves of demonic chi flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, forming 2 evil flower demons. Zhao Fu said coldly, "Eat it. Leave its heart for me." Zhao Fu wanted to use the demon wolf to create a 3rd evil flower demon. The 2 evil flower demons had already eaten tens of thousands of people, providing a large amount of demonic chi and flesh power. Now that he had the demon wolf, he should be able to create a 3rd evil flower demon. If he could create a 3rd evil flower demon, the evil spirit abyss flower would reach its 3rd stage, and the demon star would be able to obtain large amounts of demonic chi and be 1 step closer to awakening. Moreover, to create an evil flower demon, Zhao Fu had to personally devour it. After all, the evil flower demons were demonic creatures that had come from Zhao Fu's body, and if the evil flower demons devoured them, they would not be able to create another evil flower demon. However, because the demon wolf was 10,000 meters long, it was impossible for Zhao Fu to eat it all, so he had the 2 evil flower demons leave the most powerful heart for him. After hearing Zhao Fu's orders, the 2 evil flower demons excitedly charged at the demon wolf and opened their massive mouths as they bit towards it. Seeing that Zhao Fu really was going to eat it, the demon wolf thought to itself and said with a look of fear, "Don't eat me. I can submit to you and serve you." Zhao Fu looked at the demon wolf's cunning appearance and the rumors about it, so he didn't believe it and decided to eat it. The 2 evil flower demons leapt up and opened their mouths as wide as they could, biting off a large piece of flesh. Blood sprayed everywhere as the demon wolf howled in pain. Roar! 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 The demon wolf continuously howled in pain, causing countless birds and beasts to flee. The 2 evil flower demons continuously ate the demon wolf's body, causing blood to continuously fly everywhere like a rain of blood. "I'm really willing to submit to you. Don't eat me," the demon wolf howled in pain. It really wanted to submit, but it was a pity that Zhao Fu did not believe it. Hearing the howls and seeing Zhao Fu calmly watching all of this, Yi and the others realized just how cold-blooded and cruel Zhao Fu was. The people passing by heard the howls and did not dare to get close. However, some people mustered up their courage and looked into the distance. They found that the terrifying demon wolf was being eaten by two terrifying monsters. This news once again spread, and the news of the monster devouring the demon race spread further and further. By now, many people knew about this matter. Zhao Fu did not know about any of this. The two evil flower demons ate the massive demon wolf, leaving behind a 10-meter wide heart. Zhao Fu leapt at it and madly ate, looking quite terrifying as he was covered with blood. However, the heart was too big and Zhao Fu could not finish it. Even though Zhao Fu could quickly digest it, he still called the two evil flower demons to eat the demon wolf's heart at once. After devouring the demon wolf's heart, Zhao Fu once again looked incredibly pained. Evil spirit abyss flowers appeared in his eyes, and a large amount of demonic qi flowed out. This wave of demonic qi continuously condensed, forming a demon wolf. This demon wolf was roughly the same as the one that had been eaten. It had black fur, a pair of pure black eyes, and a pair of black claws that gave off a cold light. Chapter 1461. Now that Zhao Fu had condensed a third evil flower demon, and the evil spirit abyss flower had reached its third stage, Zhao Fu could make the evil flower demons 10 or so meters tall, and their devouring speed and power had greatly increased. Moreover, the evil flower demons could leave Zhao Fu's side and freely move around within 100 kilometers, and they would automatically dissipate if they went past 100 kilometers. This was because the core of the evil flower demons was Zhao Fu, and without Zhao Fu's power, they would naturally dissipate. The three evil flower demons sent over incredibly hungry thoughts, and Zhao Fu thought about it before having them find food for themselves. The three evil flower demons excitedly became 10 or so meters tall and charged in three different directions. The evil flower demon found a 10 or so meter long demonic bear and leapt at it. It opened its mouth and bit towards the demonic bear, while the demonic bear furiously raised its paw and slapped back. However, the paw passed through the evil flower demon's body, and the evil flower demon was like an illusion. This caused the demonic bear to feel quite startled, but in the next moment, it cried out in pain because the evil flower demon had ferociously bitten into its body and ripped off a large piece of flesh. The demonic bear was immediately heavily injured and was unable to retaliate at all, and it was directly devoured by the evil flower demon. The long-armed evil flower demon stared at a large group of goats and opened its mouth and sucked, devouring the terrified goats. Its arms continuously stretched out and devoured the countless fleeing goats. The wolf-like evil flower demon rushed into a town and opened its massive mouth, devouring countless residents. Its massive mouth bit down, devouring 7 or 8 people, causing blood to fly everywhere and limbs to fly everywhere. The terrified residents desperately ran, and some soldiers shot out arrows. However, the arrows passed through the evil flower demon's body and were unable to harm it at all, and the evil flower demon's body seemed to be an illusion. The evil flower demon madly devoured residents, and after coming to a street, it opened its massive mouth and sucked. Countless residents were sucked into the evil flower demon's mouth, after which they stopped moving and were instantly digested. The evil flower demons had the ability to change between reality and illusion, and they had been created from Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu had a divine bloodline, so no matter how powerful the evil flower demons were, they were useless against them. Zhao Fu didn't care about those things. He found a stream and washed the blood off his body. Then, he went to Yi Cha and the others. Yi Cha and the others were instinctively afraid of Zhao Fu. They couldn't figure out what kind of person Zhao Fu was. Zhao Fu smiled and took the 3 women into his arms. After a good time, the 3 women weren't afraid of Zhao Fu anymore. "Husband, where are we going now?" Lu Li was a charming woman. She looked at Zhao Fu with a flushed face and asked Zhao Fu in a charming manner. Zhao Fu thought for a moment before replying. Let's leave this place first. We've caused quite a ruckus here and will attract some people's attention. Also, I don't have a destination, so I can only continue onwards. Also, do you know if there are any powerful demonic beasts or demonic treasures there? The fierce-looking woman, Yu Qingling, hesitated before saying, My father has a demon god corpse. Zhao Fu looked delighted. The demon god's corpse was undoubtedly a treasure that contained massive demonic energy, and he quickly asked about the demon god's corpse. It turned out that her father was the leader of a faction, but her mother had died early and her stepmother often abused her. She had escaped when she was very young, and it had been quite difficult for her to survive until now. She often went with other people to kill others, which was why she had such a vicious personality. Even though Yu Qingling's father treated her coldly, Yu Qingling hoped that she would not kill him. Obtaining the demon god corpse would be enough. This demon god corpse was a supreme treasure of their faction, and it could allow their faction to obtain demon god power. It was incredibly important. Hearing this, Zhao Fu decided to go to Yu Qingling's father's faction. The three evil flower demons continuously devoured, and the people and beasts in the surroundings were either eaten or had already escaped. Zhao Fu thought about it and decided that he could control the evil flower demons from 100 kilometers away, so he did not summon them back. He allowed them to continuously devour and obtain large amounts of demonic qi. Zhao Fu led his people away and had them follow behind him. 2 days later, Zhao Fu and the others arrived at a city. This was within Yu Qingling's faction, and her father's faction was only an ordinary faction. Zhao Fu found an inn in the city and planned to gain a better understanding of this faction so that it would be easier for him to take action. At that moment, a few people were discussing something within the inn, and someone said with a trace of fear, AI, have you heard? Recently, monsters that specialize in eating demons have appeared, and many people have been eaten. They're incredibly cruel and cold-blooded, and they won't let off anyone alive. Is that true? Is it the doing of some demonic beast? How could there be such a monster that dares to so wantonly devour demons? And it's in the demon domain. It's definitely true. It seems that hundreds of thousands of people have been eaten nearby. Do you know the demon wolf from Demon Wolf Mountain? He was eaten alive by that monster and died incredibly miserably. What kind of monster is that? It dares to eat us demons. Aren't you looking down on our devil race too much? I don't know, but the rumors say that it's incredibly terrifying. It devours anyone it sees and never seems to be full. Its stomach doesn't change at all even after eating over 10,000 people. Now, that place has escaped somewhere else. I heard that the monster is coming towards us, and the people in the nearby villages have all been eaten. Our city lord has sent people to investigate. What? It's coming to us? Should we leave quickly? If even that demon wolf can eat that monster, our city lord will just be sending an army to their deaths. Yes, let's quickly finish eating and leave. Hearing this, Zhao Fu had never thought that it would cause such a commotion. It seemed that everyone in the surroundings knew about this, and it was most likely that some factions had noticed this as well. After thinking about it, Zhao Fu had the three evil flower demons disappear. After all, this was the heaven domain, and it was best to be careful. The people in the surroundings naturally did not know that Zhao Fu was the master of that demon-devouring monster. Following this, Zhao Fu easily obtained information about this faction and Yu Qingling's family. Now, her father had married 2 more wives and 2 concubines, and he had 4 sons and 2 daughters. After so many years, no one remembered Yu Qingling. Now, Yu Qingling's little brother, who was her stepmother's son, was the young lord. He was handsome and had decent abilities. He was also quite strong and had the support of many people, and he was quite famous. Chapter 1462. When Zhao Fu arrived at the Yu residence, he discovered that the 4th young master of the Yu residence was recruiting people. After thinking about it, he took off his cloak and reported his name. Of course, it was not his real name, but a random one, Mo Yi. Normally, the 4th young master was arrogant and domineering, and he was also a bit stupid. Out of the 4 legatees, He was the one who was the least favored. However, it felt like he was easier to control. This time, he was recruiting subordinates, and Zhao Fu wanted to use this opportunity to blend in and use this fourth young master to obtain the demon god's corpse. After reporting his name, Zhao Fu followed the servant to the backyard. There were already 20 or so people gathered there. Most of them were in the saint realm, and there were a few in the sky human realm. As for Zhao Fu, his earth human realm cultivation was quite ordinary. On a chair in the courtyard sat an arrogant young man in luxurious clothes, watching the two duel. When everyone saw Zhao Fu arrive, they all turned their attention to Zhao Fu. Ever since Zhao Fu had become a divine bloodline, his appearance and aura had been raised to the pinnacle of the world. Zhao Fu did not want to attract too much attention, so he often wore a cloak. Now that he was applying, he naturally could not wear a cloak. I am Mo Yi. I pay my respects to the young master. Zhao Fu walked up to the young man and cupped his hands in greeting. The finely dressed youth was called Yunnan, and he was the Yu family's fourth young master. He was the youngest of the Yu family's children. Seeing such a handsome and extraordinary man bow to him, Yunnan couldn't help but feel proud, and he immediately fell in love with Zhao Fu. All right, this young master will accept you, Yunnan Kai said with a smile. A servant at the side reminded, Young master, we don't know how strong Mo Yi is, so why don't we have him fight with someone else? Since young master likes him so much, if he's strong, young master can focus on nurturing him and make him your personal guard. Hearing this, Yunnan smiled and nodded as he said, Mo Yi, this young master wants to see how strong you are. If you perform well, this young master will put you in an important position. Zhao Fu smiled and casually pointed at a young man with sky human stage cultivation. The young man was somewhat displeased that Zhao Fu, an earth human stage cultivator, had come to challenge him. The two of them came to an empty space, and the young man's expression was quite savage as he clenched his fists and rushed forwards incredibly quickly. In just an instant, he had arrived in front of Zhao Fu and punched towards Zhao Fu's handsome face. The young man wanted to destroy Zhao Fu's attractive face. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as the young man was sent flying. Just as he was about to attack, Zhao Fu's lightning-fast punch sent him flying. The young man flew back more than 10 meters before crashing to the ground and coughing up a large mouthful of blood. He angrily pointed at Zhao Fu and wanted to curse, but before he could say anything, he fainted. Everyone cried out. They had never thought that Zhao Fu, with his Earth Realm cultivation, would be able to instantly kill a Heaven Realm expert with a single punch. This kind of power was quite terrifying. Zhao Fu looked quite calm. Even someone at the Harmony Realm would not be able to take a few blows from Zhao Fu. Yunnan happily stood up, looking as if he had found a treasure, and he loudly laughed as he said, Mo Yi, this young master will now appoint you as my personal bodyguard. Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile and cupped his hands as he said, Thank you, young master. Following this, Zhao Fu followed a servant around because he wanted to familiarize himself with the environment and the things that he had to pay attention to. The servant told Zhao Fu in detail because Zhao Fu was now one of Yunnan's favorites. At that moment, a mature-figured, good-looking woman with a trace of flirtatiousness walked over with a few maids. The servant immediately bowed and said, Third madam. Zhao Fu also bowed, and he understood who this beautiful woman was. She was Yu Qingling's father, Yu Ye's third wife. She was called Qiu Xueli, and she was Yunnan's mother. Qiu Xueli originally did not pay much mind, but when her gaze fell on Zhao Fu, her eyes lit up. She felt an alluring aura flow towards her, causing her face to become slightly red and her eyes to be filled with lustful light. Who is he? Qiu Xueli asked the servant with a trace of flirtatiousness. The servant replied, Third madam, this is the fourth young master's newest personal bodyguard, and this lowly one is taking him around to learn about the Yu residents. I understand. All of you can leave. I have something to ask him. Qiu Xueli lightly nodded and looked at Zhao Fu, her beautiful eyes seeming to be able to drip water. Hearing this, the servants all left. A trace of a smile appeared on Qiu Xueli's face, and she said to Zhao Fu, come with me. Zhao Fu nodded and followed Qiu Shuili to her room. After entering the room, Qiu Shuili no longer hid herself and gave a flirtatious smile as she stroked Zhao Fu's face and kissed Zhao Fu. She wrapped her arms around Zhao Fu's waist and said flirtatiously, "You're simply too beautiful. What kind of aura do you give off? You have to take responsibility for seducing my heart." Zhao Fu smiled as he hugged Qiu Shuili and walked toward the bed. After going at it intensely, Qiu Shuili's face was completely red as she tightly hugged Zhao Fu and said, "Why didn't you appear earlier? I feel like I've lived my life for nothing." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "You're such a slut." Qiu Shuili's face became red as she thought about how wild she had been just then. She said somewhat angrily, "I'm not that kind of woman. It's the first time I've done it with someone other than my husband. You were the one who seduced me, or else I wouldn't have been so weak." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and knew the reason. At that moment, there was a knock on the door, and Yunnan's voice sounded out, "Mother, have you seen my guard? Did you see the guard of mine? The servants said that you called him over for questioning. Why hasn't he returned yet?" Qiu Shuili's face became red because Zhao Fu was currently lying on the bed and hugging her. Yunnan had never thought that the guard he had just recruited had already tasted his mother. "Nan Air, look around. I sent him back a long time ago." Qiu Shuili did not want Yunnan to know about this, so she could only lie to him. Yunnan trusted Qiu Shuili, so he nodded and left. "Why are you still not leaving? If someone else finds out, you won't be able to keep your life. Next time you want to do it with me, just tell me in secret so that I can be prepared," Qiu Shuili said softly as she nestled in Zhao Fu's embrace. Zhao Fu had not achieved his goal, so he naturally would not leave. He said, "I want to know about the Yu family's matters, as well as the demon god's corpse." Hearing this, Qiu Shuili immediately became wary and said angrily, "All right, so you had an ulterior motive and even took my body, you scoundrel." Chapter 1463. Really? Qiu Shuili asked in disbelief. She had already slept with Zhao Fu and was infatuated with Zhao Fu. If her husband found out about this, she would definitely die miserably. Hearing that Zhao Fu could give her a better life, Qiu Shuili was also very moved. She was also willing to be with Zhao Fu, but she wasn't sure if what Zhao Fu said was true or if he was deceiving her. If he was deceiving her, then she would have nothing. Zhao Fu smiled and said softly, "Really? I will not deceive you. I have not deceived any woman in this way." Qiu Shuili nodded gently, and then told Zhao Fu about various things related to the Yu family. It turned out that the demon god's corpse was sealed within a secret room, and there were all sorts of restrictions protecting it. Even an Emperor Heaven Realm expert would not be able to forcefully open it, and one would need a key to enter. Zhao Fu frowned slightly. It seemed that this matter was not simple. Zhao Fu had thought that he could directly snatch it and leave. He had not expected that he would have to open the secret chamber to obtain the demon god's corpse. "My good husband, you really have to leave. Otherwise, someone will find out. Let's do it again when we have the chance," Qiu Shuili reminded with a hint of reluctance. Zhao Fu responded. He had been in Qiu Shuili's room for 5 to 6 hours. However, at this moment, a woman's voice sounded from outside the door. "Mother, are you there? I'm so angry that Wunyo doesn't support my younger brother as the patriarch of Yu clan." Outside the door stood a seductive woman. She was the Yu clan's second young miss and was already married to a large faction. Her name was Yu Baiwa. Qiu Shuili looked quite awkward. She had never thought that her daughter would come back at this time, and she naturally could not let her see this. As such, she could only say, "I understand. Wait in the living room for now. I'll find you later." Yu Baiwa knocked on the door and urged, "Mother, that's not the only reason I'm here. There's another big thing that no one knows about. Hurry up and open the door." Hearing this, Qiu Shuili felt a little helpless. She first told Zhao Fu to stay on the bed, then she put on a coat and opened the door to the room. Yu Baiwa saw the door open and saw her mother's flushed face. As a young married woman, she understood what was going on. He directly charged into the room, and Qiu Shuili wanted to stop him, but it was too late. Yu Baiwa rushed in and looked at Zhao Fu in shock. She had never thought that her mother would do it with someone else behind her father's back. Yu Baiwa was not angry. She was just a little surprised. Although her mother had thought about it, she had never done it. He did not dare to act recklessly. However, looking at Zhao Fu's peerlessly beautiful appearance, his extraordinary aura, and the alluring aura he gave off, her heart trembled. She gave off traces of seductiveness and turned her head as she said, "Mother, I'm not interested in you. You actually found such a good man, and you still want to enjoy it alone. Your daughter doesn't want to share either." Xiao Shuili smiled bitterly. She knew that her daughter was also infatuated with Zhao Fu. So she reminded, "100 flowers. Don't be like this. You have a husband, and he treats you very well." Thinking about her husband, Yu Baiwa felt quite angry and walked over to Zhao Fu's side and took the initiative to kiss Zhao Fu. Seeing the two people start to do it on the bed, Xiao Shuili helplessly turned and closed the door before also joining in. Afterwards, Yu Baihua's face was quite red as she looked at Zhao Fu in an infatuated manner. "Husband, I'll be your wife from now on, all right?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed and nodded. This young married woman was quite enchanting. Xiao Shuili lay on the other side of Zhao Fu and did not want her daughter to do it with Zhao Fu. After all, she had been living quite well in her husband's family, but now she could only leave with Zhao Fu. "That's right. Baiwa, what were you talking about?" Xiao Shuili remembered that Yu Baiwa had come to find her for something important. Yu Baiwa thought about this and replied seriously, "Big Sis is coming back and might support her little brother as the family leader. She will also have an Emperor Heaven Realm expert protecting her." Hearing this, Xiao Shuili looked quite disappointed and sighed as she said, "Looks like your little brother won't be able to become the Yu family's leader. However, that's good. He's not cut out for it." Zhao Fu's expression became quite serious because the Yu family's big miss was incredibly famous. Not only did she have extraordinary talent and was peerlessly beautiful, but she was also one of the multitude demon region's 10 great demon beauties. She was also the fiancée of an empire's young emperor. The young emperor was the next successor to the empire, and the big miss was the new emperor's empress. She had brought back an Emperor Heaven Realm expert, and with her status, who would dare to resist her? Zhao Fu felt that things had become quite difficult and felt a headache coming on. Before, Zhao Fu had wanted to obtain the demon god corpse as soon as possible, but he had never thought that the big miss, Yu Qianyue, would return early, causing the entire Yu family to become quite nervous. Within a hall, the Yu family's people were all gathered. Zhao Fu followed Yu Nan to the hall and found out what the Yu family's people looked like. The Yu family's leader, Yu Wuli, was a pale-faced, good-looking middle-aged man. The big young master was quite handsome, the second young master was quite refined, and the third young master had a cold and gloomy expression. The big madam had a fiery figure, but looked quite unkind. She was the big young master and the second young master's mother, and was called Yumu. The second madam had a tall and slim figure and gave off a domineering aura. She was called Chong Qianling, and she was the third young master's mother and the big miss little brother. The most eye-catching person was the woman standing at the center of the hall. She had a graceful figure and white skin, and her beauty surpassed everyone else's. She gave off a suffocating feeling and gave off a cold aura. Next to her was an elder who gave off an Emperor Heaven Realm aura. However, his aura was quite weak, as if he had been injured. He had been ambushed by an enemy of an empire on the way here, and as the young emperor's fiancée, her status was quite important. So many people looked at her. Yu Wuli smiled and said, "Yu heir, why did you come back this time?" Yu Wuli was quite proud of this daughter of his. Not only did she have good talent, but she was also quite strong. More importantly, she was the young emperor's fiancée, which would be of great help to the Yu family. Yu Qianyue did not have a good impression of this family and coldly replied, "I heard that you want to choose the next family leader. I think my little brother is suitable, so I want you to choose him as the young master." This time, Yu Qianyue had come mainly because of her mother, the second madam. It was her mother who had asked her to come back and help her little brother become the young master. Just as Yu Qianyue spoke, a large group of people felt quite displeased. The most displeased was the big madam, Yumu. It had taken great effort for her son to become the young master, so how could he be replaced so easily? Chapter 1464. Yu Wuli's expression was quite unsightly. He had never thought that his daughter would not give him any face at all. Moreover, she was trying to use her power to pressure him and make her little brother the young master. The other elders all disagreed because the eldest young master, Yu Qinxiu, was evidently stronger than the third young master, Yu Goha. No matter if it was in terms of personality, character, or ability, the eldest young master was the most suitable to be the next family leader. Hearing so many people disagreeing, the third young master said coldly, "You should all know that the Yu family only obtained the support of an empire because of my big sister. Without my big sister, the Yu family would be nothing. Also, I will remember those who oppose me today. Don't blame me for being merciless in the future. You brought this upon yourselves." Hearing these words, the other people from the Yu family looked furious because these words were too harsh and condescending, not putting them in their eyes at all. Even without the support of an empire, even though the Yu family isn't very powerful, it's still one of the largest factions here. We don't need to curry favor with an empire. This boy's character is so vile. He definitely can't become the Yu family's young master. That's right. I firmly support the eldest young master becoming the next family leader. If the third young master becomes the next family leader, Zhao Fu will voluntarily withdraw. Chong Qianling, the third young master's mother, said in a loud voice, "Then all of you piss off. The Yu family doesn't need you, and the Yu family will reach the pinnacle under my son's leadership. You should know that my daughter is the future empress." These words caused many people to hesitate. After all, the empress of an empire was an unreachable and terrifying figure who could influence the decisions of an empire and could even gather countless armies. The eldest young master, Yu Qinxiu, sighed. He did not want the Yu family to fall apart because of this matter, so he stepped out and said, "I voluntarily withdraw from the position of young master and give it to third brother." The big madam, Yu Mu, resolutely replied, "No." Everyone else was also unwilling, and the hall became incredibly noisy. Because of Yu Qianyue, there were now some people who supported the third young master, Yu Goha. Yu Qianyue slightly frowned and looked at the elder next to her in annoyance. The elder understood and stepped out, causing a terrifying power to cover the entire hall, causing it to fall deathly silent. Countless people looked at the elder beside Yu Qianyue in fear. Even if an Emperor Heaven Realm expert was injured, he would not be easy to deal with. The most powerful person among them was only at the extreme divine realm. Yu Qianyue said coldly, "I will stay in the Yu clan for a few days. I hope you can give me a result as soon as possible. It's best if you don't force me to do something I don't want to do." With that, Yu Qianyue left with the old man. Hearing Yu Qianyue's threat, everyone's expressions became quite unsightly. Behind her stood an empire, and everyone feared such a terrifying empire. Chong Qianling coldly laughed and left with Yugo and the others. She was determined to obtain the position of family leader, and with Yu Qianyue's support, her son would definitely become the next family leader. Zhao Fu looked at Yu Qianyue leave and suppressed the evil spirit Abyss Flower's power. The instant Yu Qianyue appeared, the evil spirit Abyss Flower madly wanted to devour her and fuse with her. He did not know why, but Yu Qianyue was definitely very important to the evil spirit Abyss Flower, and Zhao Fu started to make plans. At night, countless stars appeared in the dark sky, and the starlight flashed, looking quite majestic. There was no moon, and a light breeze blew, bringing with it a trace of coldness. Zhao Fu lightly knocked on the door 3 times, and because this was the signal, a sharp woman's voice sounded out, "Come in." Hearing this, Zhao Fu opened the door, and a beautiful woman was waiting for Zhao Fu. She was the big Madame Yumu. Yumu's expression was serious as she asked doubtfully, "Do you really have the ability to protect my son's position as the young master?" She had seen this young man in front of her in the hall before, and he only had Earth Realm cultivation and was Yunan's personal bodyguard. How could she believe that Zhao Fu could help her son protect his position as the young master? After all, Yu Qianyue was the future empress and had the support of an empire. She also had the protection of an Emperor Heaven Realm expert, and that Emperor Heaven Realm expert could easily suppress them. Zhao Fu smiled and gave off his nation armament's power, causing Yu Mu's expression to fall. Zhao Fu said, "I don't care what you do, just injure that Emperor Heaven Realm expert again. I'll kill him and take Yu Qianyue away. Without her, no one will be able to threaten your son's position. However, I also want the demon god corpse." Yu Mu looked quite shocked and felt that Zhao Fu was quite crazy. He dared to kill an Emperor Heaven Realm expert and take away the future empress of an empire. Even though this plan was quite crazy for her son's position as the young master, she thought about it and decided to agree. After all, she had no other choice. Zhao Fu felt quite delighted and let out a sigh of relief. With her help, the pressure on Zhao Fu would be much less. He looked at Yu Mu's fiery figure with interest and went up to hug her. Yu Mu smelled Zhao Fu's enticing scent, and her face became slightly red. She vigorously struggled, but was unable to break free from Zhao Fu's embrace, and she was carried onto the bed by Zhao Fu. After going at it intensely, the big madam's face was completely red as she looked at Zhao Fu and said, "I've placed everything on you and even gave you my body. You have to succeed, or else I won't let you off." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and said, "I promise to succeed. Also, madam, you should understand how dangerous this matter is. I want the demon god corpse first." Hearing this, the big madam nodded. She had the key to the secret room, which was why Zhao Fu had come to find her. Zhao Fu came to the secret room. Zhao Fu immediately looked at the demon god corpse on the stone stage, which seemed to be asleep. This demon god was covered with black scales and was 3 meters tall. It had a powerful body and a pair of sharp claws. There was a pair of scaly wings on its back, and it looked quite savage. There were 4 short bone horns on its forehead, and it gave off a powerful aura. Zhao Fu was quite satisfied and waved his hand, putting the demon god corpse into his spatial ring. Just as he was about to leave, Zhao Fu found a precious box by the side. This box was made of pure gold and was as big as a palm. It was placed on a stone stage and gave off a faint golden light, attracting Zhao Fu over. Zhao Fu went up and opened the box, and he saw an irregular black metal that was as big as an egg. It was covered with cracks, but it gave off a dense darkness aura and an intense might. Chapter 1465. If he could nurture Saint Realm Demon Beasts, what would Qin have to fear? He would be able to easily destroy billions of Stage 3 soldiers, and he would not have to fear any kingdoms in the outer domains or within the inner domains. He would be able to directly face the heaven domain. However, even an empire would not be able to obtain a Stage 10 den. So how could he obtain one so easily? Zhao Fu looked at the information and looked quite disappointed because he found that this was a damaged den that was missing a few small pieces, making it almost impossible to repair. However, after thinking about it, Zhao Fu felt quite delighted. He could choose to fuse with the bloodline den, and perhaps he would be able to create a new creature, one that was a fusion of the Heaven Awakened world and the outer world. "You can't take this. Everything in the secret room belongs to my son in the future," Yu Mu said as she came up. Zhao Fu smiled and hugged her as he said, "There's no point in keeping this. Can I use a few good demonic treasures to exchange for it?" As he spoke, Zhao Fu took out a few demonic treasures. Yu Mu took the demonic treasures and looked at their information before kissing Zhao Fu's face in delight and saying flirtatiously, "Good man, tell me honestly, who exactly are you? Not only are you so powerful, but you also have so many good things. If you can secretly support my son, I'll be your lover. How about that? If you want to do it, you can come and find me." Zhao Fu smiled and did not reply and said, "Go and get something that can heavily injure Emperor Heaven Realm experts. As a faction in the Heaven Domain, you should have the ability to do so. Leave everything else to me." Yu Mu smiled and nodded because Zhao Fu had given her great confidence. Following this, the two of them split up. Outside Yu Qianyue's room, The elder was hidden in the void and could appear at any moment. He faced their attacks while recovering from his injuries. Suddenly, a formless and odorless aura spread to where the elder was hiding, and the elder's expression fell because this aura contained a venomous poison. The elder did not hesitate to unleash a defensive barrier to block that aura. However, that aura was able to dissolve the defensive barrier and enter the elder's body through his skin, destroying his life force. Pooh! The elder was already injured, and now that he was poisoned, his body became heavily injured. He coughed up a large mouthful of blood, and his face became much paler. Boom! After all, he was an Emperor Heaven Realm expert, and he exploded out with all of his strength. Massive amounts of world energy entered his body to defend against the poison that continuously corroded his life force, and he formed a defensive barrier containing world energy to block the poison. Roar! 4 monsters that were dozens of meters tall suddenly appeared and gave off terrifying auras as they ferociously charged at the elder, wanting to devour him. Out of the 4 monsters, one was the long-armed evil flower demon. One was the demonic evil flower demon. One was the wolf evil flower demon. And the last was the demon god evil flower demon. Zhao Fu had just eaten the demon god's corpse and created it. He was tall and muscular, and he had a pair of wings covered in scales. He had 2 horns and no eyes. He had a huge mouth that covered his entire face, and there were many sharp teeth in it, making him look extremely terrifying. After transforming into the 4th evil flower demon, they could become dozens of meters large, and Zhao Fu could control them from thousands of kilometers away. Their abilities had also greatly increased. Facing the 4 monsters' attacks, the elder looked quite disdainful. He drew a saber and vigorously slashed out an enormous saber light that gave off a shocking aura as it slashed towards the 4 monsters. However, the ferocious saber light pierced through the evil flower beast's bodies and was unable to harm the evil flower demons at all. From this, it could be seen how terrifying the evil flower demons were. They were already immune to ordinary attacks from Emperor Heaven Realm experts. Boom! The elder's expression fell, and he exploded out with terrifying world energy, sending out massive spatial ripples and sending the 4 evil flower demons flying back. Shing! A shocking sword hum suddenly sounded out as an azure sword light rushed into the sky, causing the heavens and earth to dim. The world was covered by the azure sword light, and countless people's hair stood on end as their hearts became icy cold. Zhao Fu had entered celestial mode, and his body was covered with rainbow light. There was a rainbow-colored ring of runes around him, and he held the Emperor Killing Sword as he exploded out with all of his nation armament's power. 6 worlds' power entered the Emperor Killing Sword, causing its power to be incredibly terrifying. Boom! As Zhao Fu's sword descended, the azure sword light that had rushed into the sky descended in an instant, bringing with it an enormous storm of sword chi. It gave off incredibly sharp power and seemed to be able to split apart the ground. The elder's expression became one of shock and even a trace of fear. Because it was a sudden attack, the elder only had time to unleash a defensive barrier. However, the defensive barrier was only able to block the sword light for a moment before being slashed apart. The elder's body was sent flying back and heavily crashed to the ground, creating a large crater and a bloody gash on his back. However, the elder was not dead and was only heavily injured. From this, it could be seen just how terrifying an Emperor Heaven Realm expert was. He had already been injured and had been poisoned, and even after taking a sneak attack from Zhao Fu, he had still been unable to insta-kill him. Now that the elder was heavily injured and on the verge of death, Zhao Fu did not hold back and rushed over, stabbing his sword through the elder's chest. At the same time, Zhao Fu saw 2 figures running away. It was Yu Qianyue and the second Madame Chang Qianling. They looked incredibly terrified and had never thought that someone would suddenly kill an Emperor Heaven Realm expert. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, which turned into a massive azure hand and grabbed the 2 people running away before turning into a ray of light and flying away. This battle had lasted for less than 2 minutes, and by the time everyone had reacted, Zhao Fu had already flown away. Sensing the terrifying remnant sword energy, they did not dare to get close. Within a hidden mountain cave, there were many people gathered. Not only were there Yi Yi and the other two women, but there were also the Yu family's 3 madams and 2 young misses. Seeing the 3rd madam and her daughter intimately leaning against Zhao Fu, Yumu angrily cursed, "You bastard! Why did you capture me as well? Also, did Xiao Xueli and her daughter sleep with you long ago?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed and pulled her into his embrace as he said, "I'm doing this for your own good. Since you participated in this matter, it's very likely that you'll be found out. Moreover, I've taken away all of the Yu family's women. Leaving you by yourself will be very suspicious. Moreover, with everyone's attention on me, that empire won't do anything to the Yu family. Because the Yu family is also a victim, it will feel quite humiliated, but it will be safe. Your son will still be the young master, and no one will be able to touch him." After hearing Zhao Fu's explanation, Yumu gave a happy smile and said apologetically, "Sorry, good man, I wronged you. I'll properly serve you later." Chapter 1466. The big madam, Yumu, angrily harumphed and said, "You're talking about us? You should think about the 2 of you. After our men have a taste of you, we'll have 100 men take turns with you and sell you to a brothel. We'll show you what it means to be a prostitute." Hearing this, Yu Qinyue's expression became quite unsightly. That would be worse than death. The 2nd Madam Chang Qianling was more sensible. She felt that her beauty would not lose out to the other 2 madams, and with her aura, many men would want to conquer her. As such, she was confident that Zhao Fu would like her. She said flirtatiously, "Husband, Qianyue and I can serve you together. From now on, Qianyue and I can serve you together. Are you willing to let other men ravage us?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed and undid the restrictions on Chang Qianling, but he did not undo the restrictions on her power. After regaining her mobility, Chang Qianling went up and hugged Zhao Fu, looking incredibly flirtatious and red as she said, "Husband, I'm yours now. Now that I'm yours, you have to treat me and Qianyue better." Yumu felt quite displeased. She had never thought that Chang Qianling would submit so easily. It was as if the 3 of them had changed husbands. "Husband, how's my father?" Yu Qingling looked at Zhao Fu, who was surrounded by beauties, and asked with a trace of concern. Zhao Fu replied, "I didn't harm your father, but he contracted a strange illness and most likely won't live for long. It was because Yu Wuli's body was dying that they had to choose the next family leader. This was one of the reasons why the 3rd Madam Xiao Xueli was willing to leave with Zhao Fu. She was thinking about the future. She could not be a widow for the rest of her life." Hearing this familiar voice, the big madam, Yumu, looked at Yu Qingling and heard her call Zhao Fu husband. Her face became pale because she recognized Yu Qingling. This explained why Zhao Fu had come to the Yu family. Hearing Zhao Fu's words, Yu Qingling looked slightly sad and looked at her stepmother coldly as she said, "Long time no see, stepmother, stepmother." The big madam, Yumu, was somewhat afraid because Zhao Fu and Yu Qingling's relationship had started before her. She was afraid that Yu Qingling would take revenge on her, as she had gone overboard back then. Zhao Fu slapped Yumu's butt and smiled as he said to Yu Qingling, "I'll help you punish her." Yumu's face became red, and she let out a sigh of relief as she said flirtatiously, "Husband, it's not a big deal. Now that I'm your woman, you can punish me however you want." Yu Qingling's expression was cold, and she did not say anything else. Through their conversation, the others recognized Yu Qingling. Zhao Fu looked at Yu Qianyue and could now understand why the evil spirit Abyss Flower wanted Yu Qianyue. Zhao Fu licked his lips and felt incredibly hungry. After releasing 1st Madam and 2nd Madam, Zhao Fu walked up to Yu Qianyue and lifted her chin. His eyes shone with a devouring light. Yu Qianyue coldly looked at Zhao Fu and said with a trace of arrogance, "I'm the future empress. If you dare to touch me, you should know the consequences." Zhao Fu angrily harumphed and ripped off Yu Qianyue's clothes before starting to do it with her. Apart from resisting at the start, Yu Qianyue became more cooperative with Zhao Fu. A massive wave of demonic qi flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, and Zhao Fu's eyes once again became like evil spirit abyss flowers. The demonic qi continuously flowed into Yu Qianyue's body, causing her body to give off a faint demonic light. Black flowers of demonic qi grew out of her body, and her eyes became pure black with two evil spirit abyss flowers imprinted on them. Yu Qianyue's aura also went through massive changes, becoming more flirtatious and evil. Seeing that Zhao Fu had ravaged Yu Qianyue for so long, the second Madame Chong Qianling said with a pained expression, "Husband, this is Qianyue's first time. It's Qianyue's first time. So take pity on her and let me serve you." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and hugged second Madame Chong Qianling's mature body, and the other women could not help but join in. By now, while Zhao Fu was having fun here, the outside world was in complete chaos. An empire was enraged. An imperial concubine had been stolen by someone, and this was a massive humiliation to the empire. No matter who had done it, they would definitely pay a heavy price. An empire's higher being had personally acted, and everyone else thought that there would be an outcome soon. However, unexpectedly, the higher being had not been able to find anything. He had wanted to use heaven-defying techniques to divine the situation, but he had suffered a massive backlash and been heavily injured. This matter immediately spread throughout most of the demon domain. An empire's higher being not only had massive amounts of fate, but he had also received massive amounts of fate from the empire, and yet he had suffered backlash. Just who did this? With such terrifying power, even the most powerful person in the world was heavily injured. Not only did the Empire take this matter seriously, but it also sent out billions of Stage 5 soldiers, hundreds of thousands of Emperor Heaven Realm experts, and 3 Void Realm experts to investigate. Everyone else was quite concerned about this, as it was most likely done by a higher being. However, why would a higher being steal an Empire's imperial concubine? Everyone did not know, so they sent out spies to investigate. All of the Yu family's women had been stolen, and even though they had been mocked by others, it was because of this that the Yu family had been able to survive. Otherwise, if an empire investigated, the Yu family might have been destroyed. The family's leader was still the eldest young master, and the third young master had lost the support of 2 important figures and was no longer fighting for the position of young master. Yunan's face was filled with confusion. Why did the personal guard he had just recruited also disappear? He also didn't know that the personal guard was currently on top of his mother and sister. Back in the cave, Yu Qianyue came back to her senses and looked at her mother's red face as she lay in Zhao Fu's embrace, looking like she liked Zhao Fu. Yu Qianyue could tell that her mother had been dissolute just then. However, she was not angry because she had been like this under Zhao Fu's body. She was wondering why Zhao Fu had such a terrifying ability. If it was an ordinary man and woman doing it, they would not be able to achieve such a feeling. She guessed that Zhao Fu most likely cultivated some sort of art. Moreover, in her mind, there was now a black rose-like flower that gave off demonic light. This flower continuously increased her constitution and power, giving her an extremely high-grade power. Yu Qianyue could not understand why, with her attitude toward Zhao Fu would give her such benefits. Zhao Fu looked at Yu Qianyue and brought her into his embrace. Yu Qianyue did not resist and lay in Zhao Fu's embrace. She did not have the strength to resist, and her body had already been taken by that bastard Zhao Fu. Chapter 1467. In the end, Zhao Fu found that Yu Qianyue had become his evil flower emissary. Just then, the evil spirit abyss flower had split off an evil flower demon seed, and this evil flower demon seed had fused into Yu Qianyue's body. Not only could it increase Yu Qianyue's power and constitution, but it could also give Yu Qianyue the same abilities as him. Yu Qianyue could also transform into evil flower demons, split off evil flower demonic seeds, and have evil flower followers. Her evil flower followers could also transform into evil flower demons, split off evil flower demonic seeds, and have their own evil flower spirits. If this continued, Zhao Fu would have 12 evil flower emissaries, and the evil flower emissaries could have 24 evil flower followers, while the 24 evil flower followers could each have 48 evil flower spirits. That way, they would be able to form an army, and with the evil flower demon's abilities, this army would be incredibly terrifying. Moreover, the army would be personally controlled by Zhao Fu, and no one would be able to resist. Zhao Fu was the core of this army, and once Zhao Fu died, everyone else would die as well. As evil flower emissaries, they had to be women and have great talent. This was why the evil spirit abyss flower had reacted so strongly to Yu Qianwei. Unknowingly, more and more women appeared by Zhao Fu's side, and there was also the pitiful Yi Ji outside. Zhao Fu discussed with them and found a place to settle them down. When Zhao Fu finished his matters, he would come back to pick them up. They were naturally unwilling, but Zhao Fu explained the dangers ahead, so they could only obediently stay. However, they had a request, which was to satisfy them. In the end, Zhao Fu settled them down in a small mountain village in the wilderness. Zhao Fu knew that the situation was quite dangerous, so it was best for them to stay as far away from people as possible. This small mountain village was quite secluded, and it was a good hiding place. It was not that Zhao Fu did not bring any women, and Zhao Fu brought Yu Qianwei. Not only was she a future empress, but she was also a disciple of a terrifying demon sect. That sect was a top-tier faction in the Multitude Demon region. Yu Qianwei was quite familiar with the Multitude Demon region, so Zhao Fu could ask her anything. However, her attitude toward Zhao Fu was relatively cold. Moreover, no matter what Zhao Fu did to her, she did not resist at all. Instead, she was very proactive. Soon, Zhao Fu brought Yu Qianwei to another place. Zhao Fu released 4 evil flower demons to attack cities within 1,000 kilometers because he needed to devour a large number of creatures to create a 5th evil flower demon. The 4 evil flower demons, which were dozens of meters tall, charged into the city and started a massacre. The long-armed evil flower demon swung its arms, sending them flying out and devouring people, while the demonic evil flower demon wreaked havoc as it grabbed people and stuffed them into its mouth. The wolf-shaped evil flower demon was like a wild beast, leaping at people and devouring them. The demon god, evil flower demon, flew in the sky and opened its large mouth, exploding out with a suction force, sucking in the terrified people in its mouth. Blood was everywhere, dyeing the streets and walls red. There were also many mutilated corpses. Countless people screamed in fear and ran away. The scene was extremely terrifying. Swish, swish, swish. Arrows containing terrifying force drew out arcs in the air as they flew towards the evil flower demon. However, all the arrows passed through the evil flower demon's body and were unable to harm it at all. The wolf-shaped evil flower demon ferociously leapt into the group of soldiers and bit at them with its massive mouth. It could devour dozens of people in a single bite, and it used its claws to send soldiers flying. The long-armed evil flower demon opened its mouth and exploded out with an enormous attractive force, devouring countless soldiers. Boom! A human Saint Realm City Lord roared and exploded out with powerful power as he held a spear and rushed at an evil flower demon. However, he was caught by the demon god, evil flower demon's large hand. The city lord looked incredibly shocked and struggled with all of his strength, but he was unable to break free at all. Following this, the demon god, evil flower demon, placed him into its mouth. The city lord bit down and blood sprayed everywhere. A Saint Realm expert had died, just like that. The city quickly turned into ruins, and the people here were either eaten or escaped to other places. The 4 evil flower demons cruelly headed towards the next city. Because the evil flower demons continuously attacked cities and devoured countless demon people, the news of the demon people eating became more and more widespread. More and more people knew about this, and some factions started to investigate what was going on. Zhao Fu's evil flower demons had eaten millions of people and satisfied the requirements for the evil flower demon. So Zhao Fu ate the Emperor Heaven Realm expert's corpse. Seeing Zhao Fu eat a corpse, and it was an Emperor Heaven Realm expert protecting her. A trace of anger appeared on Yu Qingling's cold face. She tightly clenched her fists but could not do anything. This was because not only was her body controlled by the Six Desires demonic chi, but her mind was also controlled by the evil spirit Abyss Flower, so she could not do anything to Zhao Fu. Why are you doing this? Now that I've been taken by you, I'm your woman. Can't you show me some respect? That person died to protect me. Yet you want to eat him. I definitely won't truly submit to you like this. Zhao Fu was currently eating the elder's corpse, and his face was covered with blood. Hearing her words, he felt quite surprised and tore off the elder's hand and handed it to Yu Qianyue. Yu Qianyue felt even more furious towards Zhao Fu's actions. What did he mean by this? Did he want her to eat it with him? How could she? Yu Qianyue suddenly felt an intense hunger, and the evil spirit Abyss Flower in her mind gave off a faint demonic light. Yu Qianyue uncontrollably took the arm and started to eat in large bites, looking quite savage. Zhao Fu continued to eat the elder's corpse, and a massive wave of demonic qi flowed out. Zhao Fu's expression became pained as the demonic qi continuously condensed and formed another monster. This monster was 3 meters tall and was quite skinny, looking like an elder. It had silver-white hair that dragged on the ground and was quite fluffy. It did not have a face, and there were 2 large mouths on its throat, one on the outside and one on the inside, looking quite horrifying. This was the 5th Elder's evil flower demon, and Zhao Fu's evil spirit Abyss Flower's power had reached the 5th stage. Each evil flower demon could become 100 meters tall, and Zhao Fu could control them from 10,000 kilometers away. Suddenly, Yu Qianyue went up and hugged Zhao Fu, looking quite flirtatious and shy as she looked at him with lustful eyes and took the initiative to kiss Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu lightly laughed and understood that Yu Qianyue was affected by the evil spirit Abyss Flower and 6 Desires demonic qi, as well as the pure desire from eating the elder's arm. Zhao Fu waved his hand, and the elder's evil flower demon turned into demonic qi and disappeared, and Zhao Fu started to do it with her and slowly helped her wake up. Chapter 1468. Zhao Fu laughed and said domineeringly, "No matter what, you won't be able to escape from me in this lifetime. I can control everything about you, so it's best if you submit to me as soon as possible. Also, that power will increase your potential by dozens of times, and you'll control the most terrifying power in the world in the future. You won't be disappointed. If you don't want to eat people, you can refine people into medicinal pills, and the effects will be better. I just don't want to go through so much trouble." Yu Qianyue coldly harumphed and did not reply to Zhao Fu, but she lightly hugged Zhao Fu's body and started to submit to Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Wife, where should we go? It's best if there are powerful demonic beasts, demonic treasures, and demon women." Yu Qianyue rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and said, "I'm not your wife. You still haven't married me. Also, just what is your identity?" Yu Qianyue was now quite curious about Zhao Fu's identity because he was definitely not an ordinary person. His aura and might were incredibly terrifying, and he was many times more powerful than her fiancé. Zhao Fu smiled and said with a trace of confidence and seriousness, "It's not convenient for me to tell you right now, but in the future, the entire heaven-awakened world will know my name. I won't mistreat you, and I'll take care of you for the rest of your life." Hearing this, Yu Qianyue smiled for the first time and completely relaxed. She lay in Zhao Fu's embrace and lightly nodded as she said softly, "Husband, I want to go back to the sect. I have many things there that I haven't taken with me. Also, I know some alchemy skills, so you don't have to be so cruel and eat me raw. Also, the things you're looking for should be there. My senior apprentice sister is one of the multitude demon region's 10 great demon beauties and madly pursues the pinnacle of power. If you tell her about the evil flower emissary, she'll definitely become your woman." Zhao Fu hesitated as he said, "Right now, that empire and your sect are most likely looking for you. If you go back, things will become quite dangerous." Yu Qianyue smiled as she said, Husband, it's not a big deal. I'll be careful. Also, my body is now yours, so it's almost impossible for me to marry into that empire. Also, this marriage was chosen by the sect for me. I don't have a deep relationship with that young emperor, so I'm still a virgin. I'm still afraid that you'll abandon me. Zhao Fu thought about it and agreed. Following this, the two of them put on their cloaks and went to Yu Qinyue's sect, the holy demon sect. This sect was extremely terrifying and was only slightly weaker than an empire. There was also a supreme expert in it, but he was in seclusion for many years and did not care about the sex matters. A few days later, Zhao Fu and Yu Qinyue entered the territory of the Holy Devil sect. At this time, both of them were extremely cautious. They couldn't afford to be discovered, otherwise it would be very dangerous. Zhao Fu and Jian Shaodian first arrived at Yu Qinyue's courtyard and snuck in. Yu Qinyue quickly packed up her things. This place was incredibly dangerous because it was where Yu Qinyue lived. If someone came and discovered that Yu Qinyue had returned, it would be impossible for Zhao Fu and Yu Qinyue to escape unscathed. As such, they had to quickly pack up and leave. Zhao Fu stayed vigilant outside and felt quite nervous while Yu Qinyue packed up in the courtyard. Suddenly, a white-clothed, gentle, jade-like young man walked over. His aura was incredibly terrifying, and his cultivation was at the extreme divine realm. Zhao Fu immediately became vigilant and prepared to act at any moment. However, if he acted and caused any ripples, they would be discovered. When that time came, Zhao Fu and Yu Qinyue would not be able to escape. Right now, he could only hope that this person was just passing by and did not come here. Zhao Fu also did his best to hide his aura and hide in the void. Brother, what business do you have with the Holy Demon sect? Even though Zhao Fu wanted the young man to leave quickly, the young man walked in front of Zhao Fu and cupped his hands as he spoke courteously. Zhao Fu felt quite helpless and appeared in the void as he calmly replied, "I'm just passing by. There's no need to mind me." The young man looked at Zhao Fu and lightly laughed as he said, "I don't think that's necessarily the case. This is the place where the sect's talented woman, as well as the future empress, Yu Qinyue, lives." Zhao Fu's expression became serious. This young man had most likely discovered something. Just as Zhao Fu was about to act, Yu Qinyue walked out from the side and called out, "Husband, did something happen?" The young man looked at Yu Qinyue in surprise. He had never thought that the person whom the outside world was madly searching for would actually return to the Holy Demon sect. What shocked him even more was that Yu Qinyue, who had been the future empress just a few days ago, was now calling another man husband. Looking at Yu Qinyue's rosy cheeks and the cold and alluring aura that she gave off, she was even more beautiful than before. She most likely was no longer a virgin and had been frequently nourished by men. Seeing the young man, Yu Qinyue let out a sigh of relief and said, "Luckily it's senior apprentice brother, or else husband, and I would not have been able to escape." The young man had a puzzled look on his face. He still had no idea what was going on. Yu Qinyue smiled as she introduced them to Zhao Fu, saying, "Husband, I'm quite familiar with this place. This is Mozg, senior brother Mo, the strongest in the Saint Devil sect. He's a very good person. There's no one in the sect who doesn't like him, and he usually takes good care of me." Zhao Fu nodded and politely introduced himself. "My name is Mo Yi." Mozg still looked quite confused and did not understand what was going on. Yu Qinyue gave him a brief introduction of Zhao Fu and changed the story. It was said that she had been in love with Zhao Fu for a long time and did not want to marry that imperial prince. As such, she had come up with this method to escape from the marriage. That way, Zhao Fu's image became much more righteous and bright, as if he was an infatuated man who was willing to go against an empire for love. Mozg felt some admiration for Zhao Fu. Even with his strength, he did not dare to do such a thing, and he had not met any woman he loved. I also feel that Brother Mo Yi is a good man to be willing to pay such a great price for you. Moreover, from the start, I sensed that Brother Mo Yi's aura, bloodline aura, and energy ripples far surpass that imperial prince's. In the future, Your name will shake the world, and he's more suitable for you than that imperial prince, Mo Ziji said as he smiled. These words made Zhao Fu feel quite embarrassed, and he dryly laughed a few times. Yu Qianyue glared at Zhao Fu. She did not have the face to tell him how Zhao Fu had forcefully taken her. It's best that you leave as soon as possible to avoid being noticed by others. We'll have a proper gathering in the future. Mo Ziji was quite a good person, and he was worried for Zhao Fu and Yu Qianyue. Senior apprentice brother, we'll meet again in the future, Yu Qianyue said as she looked at Mo Ziji. Chapter 1470. Zhao Fu nodded and said seriously, "Then you can come with me." Mo Wulin nodded. Now that she was by Zhao Fu's side, with Zhao Fu by her side, she would be able to quickly grasp that terrifying power. Mo Wulin felt quite delighted about this power. On one hand, she wanted to go out and gain experience. Her power had not broken through for a long time, and she needed to go out and find an opportunity. Following this, the three of them stealthily left the holy demon sect. News of Mo Wulin's disappearance quickly spread, and the holy demon sect quickly sent people to investigate why a disciple had suddenly disappeared. Moreover, Mo Wulin was one of the most famous people in the holy demon sect, so she naturally received a lot of attention. However, they were unable to find anything, and it was as if Mo Wulin had disappeared. Mo Ziji felt that it was related to Zhao Fu. In the end, it was Zhao Fu who had abducted Mo Wulin. After leaving the holy demon sect, Zhao Fu released 4 terrifying evil flower demons to attack a few cities and eat millions of people. Zhao Fu started to fuse with the demon dragon pearl and create a 5th evil flower demon. This evil flower demon was naturally a dragon-shaped evil demon and was only 3 meters long. It was covered with jet black scales and had a single massive dragon eye. It also had a savage mouth filled with fangs and 6 dragon claws. It gave off a powerful aura. The evil spirit abyss flower had reached its 5th stage, and Zhao Fu could control evil flower demons from 100,000 kilometers away. The evil flower demons could also become 100 meters large. What was more important was that Zhao Fu had a terrifying ability, which was the evil flower puppet. Zhao Fu could now use 5 evil flower demons to control 500,000 people. Those 500,000 people were evil flower puppets, and once they were controlled, they would not be able to break free. They would be controlled by Zhao Fu for the rest of their lives, and they would not be able to break free until they died. Moreover, those who were controlled would not have their power, cultivation, or memories changed. Zhao Fu did not need to control so many people, so he would not use this ability for now. After all, bringing so many people would be quite troublesome. Right now, the most important thing was to find powerful demons and witches. Zhao Fu continued to raise the evil spirit abyss flower stage and prepared a large amount of demonic qi for the demon star. Once the evil spirit abyss flower reached its final stage, the demon star would awaken. What do you think you can go right now? Right now, I still need a lot of powerful demonic creatures and demonesses, Zhao Fu said to the 2 women. Mo Wulin thought about it and excitedly smiled as she said, "Husband, why don't we capture the remaining women in the top 10 of the multitude demon region? As long as we gather the 12 evil flower envoys and transform into the 12 evil flower demons, we'll be able to make the evil flower illusion bloom in the entire demon region. Not only will we be able to obtain even greater power, but we can also fuse with you and obtain an undying and indestructible power. As long as you're fine, we'll be able to revive endlessly. When the time comes, we'll also split off the evil flower demon seed and gather a terrifying evil flower demon army for you to conquer the demon domain." Zhao Fu felt quite tempted, but he also felt quite worried. Even though the multitude demon region was a chaotic place, all of the demon beauties were heavenly geniuses. Not only did they have extraordinary talent and were as beautiful as celestial fairies, but they also had terrifying factions behind them. If all of them were captured, the disturbance would be incredibly great and would shake the entire multitude demon region, causing countless factions to madly hunt them down. Zhao Fu did not want to do this, but if he wanted the evil spirit abyss flower to reach its final stage, he needed evil flower emissaries. Only then would the demon star awaken. After thinking about it for a while, Zhao Fu decided to capture these demon beauties. After all, he had already offended many people in the multitude demon region, so he did not mind offending a few more. As long as he could achieve his goal and obtain shocking gains, he would be satisfied. However, Zhao Fu also felt that his behavior was no different from a big pervert, but he still had to do it. Yu Qianhua hugged Zhao Fu and said worriedly, "Husband, what's wrong? Don't treat us coldly because of them." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he replied, "I'm not that sort of person. Don't worry." Out of the multitude demon region's 10 demon beauties, Yu Qianhua was ranked 6th and Mo Walin was ranked 5th. Zhao Fu planned to capture those in the top 10 and go upwards. The 10th ranked one was called Zilingye, the empress of a royal kingdom. When Zhao Fu, Yu Qianhua, and Yu Qianhua came to a royal kingdom, they happened to be holding a martial gathering. When the time came, geniuses from all over the royal kingdom would gather, and Zilingye would participate. Zhao Fu also registered and told Yu Qianhua and Yu Qianhua to wait in a nearby royal kingdom. After capturing Zilingye, Zhao Fu would run away. This was a heaven domain royal kingdom, and it was more than 10 times more powerful than a royal kingdom in the inner regions. Zhao Fu could not afford to offend them, so he had to immediately leave after capturing Zilingye. When the martial gathering started, it was already packed with people and the scene was incredibly bustling. Not only were there geniuses from all over, but there were also countless people watching. Zhao Fu hid in a corner and waited for a good opportunity. Princess Yi has arrived. A loud cry sounded out, causing everyone in the surroundings to fall silent. They looked in the direction of the voice and saw a woman with a graceful figure wearing a violet palace dress. She had perfect looks and gave off a noble aura as she walked out with a group of female attendants. She was Zilingye, and she was incredibly beautiful. As soon as she appeared, everyone fell silent. Even though Zilingye was only the 10th ranked demon beauty, she was definitely the royal kingdom's #1 beauty, and countless young masters and nobles madly liked her. Many people came to watch the martial arts competition, but they also wanted to see this royal kingdom's #1 beauty. Apart from Zilingye, there were 7 or 8 people with extraordinary bearings and noble auras. They were both men and women, and they were all handsome and beautiful. They were most likely important figures in the royal kingdom and had prestigious statuses. Zhao Fu did not mind these people and was completely focused on Zilingye. Seeing that there were no experts protecting her, he could not help but feel delighted. Perhaps because she was in the royal kingdom, no one would dare to do anything to her. The martial gathering began, and Zilingye and a few others came to the viewing platforms. There were many arenas below, and there were countless people fighting. There were 2 people fighting, and there were also chaotic battles. The rewards for winning this martial gathering were not low at all. The scene was quite lively, and the battles on the arenas were intense. The spectators below were quite interested, and they excitedly cheered. Zhao Fu felt that it was about time. Boom, 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 a massive wave of demonic chi spread out, flooding out in all directions. 5 100-meter-tall monsters suddenly appeared and madly attacked the people around them. Chapter 1472. Yu Qianhua and Zilingye looked quite worried, and Zhao Fu comforted them, saying, "Don't worry, nothing will happen. I already know the reason." Hearing Zhao Fu's words, Yu Qianhua relaxed and sweetly smiled. I believe in you, husband." Zilingye lay in Zhao Fu's embrace and looked at Zhao Fu with her beautiful eyes as she said coldly, "My life is now bound to yours. Nothing can happen to you, understand?" Zhao Fu responded with a smile. When Zilingye saw that Zhao Fu had agreed, her expression softened. She gently hugged Zhao Fu with both hands and rested her head on Zhao Fu's chest. "Husband, Let's continue and quickly capture all of the demon beauties and open the evil spirit abyss flower's final stage, evil flower bewitching world. I can't wait for that power anymore, Emo Wolin said excitedly. Zhao Fu nodded. The four of them put on their clothes and headed to the next location. Their target was the 9th-ranked Mei Lingling. She was from a large family and already had a husband, who was the prince of an imperial kingdom. Zhao Fu received news that the two of them would appear in a certain city. Zhao Fu decided to have Yu Qianyue and the others wait for him somewhere else. As long as Zhao Fu caught Mei Lingling, he would immediately leave. After that, Zhao Fu waited for the two of them in a city. The prince looked fair and clean, and he was tall, but he was a bit weak. There were a few divine realm guards beside him. It seemed that this prince was not very important in the imperial kingdom. Otherwise, an imperial kingdom's guard would at least be at the extreme divine realm, and the prince's cultivation would not be so weak. As for the woman in his embrace, her figure was extremely alluring, and she was extremely beautiful. She wore a thin muslin dress, and her delicate figure was faintly discernible. She did not care about other people's gazes at all, and she had a faint and flirtatious smile on her face, making her look quite lewd. It was much easier to deal with this type of woman. Zhao Fu directly walked over, and Mei Lingling immediately noticed Zhao Fu. There seemed to be some kind of power that attracted her gaze, and as Zhao Fu got closer, her heartbeat sped up. Zhao Fu's body gave off the 6 desires demonic qi, which naturally attracted her the most. Zhao Fu controlled the 6 desires demonic qi to flow towards Mei Lingling and be continuously absorbed by her. Continue forward. Although they had only brushed past each other, Mei Lingling felt as if a long time had passed. Moreover, it was as if she had fallen in love with Zhao Fu. She could not live without Zhao Fu. Her eyes became misty, and she gave off a mature charm. Seeing Zhao Fu leave, Mei Lingling said impatiently, "Husband, don't worry. I have some matters to take care of. Can you wait for me here?" Looking at the lustful Mei Lingling, the young man felt quite confused. However, he knew what Mei Lingling's current state meant, and he lightly laughed as he said, "You want it, right? Let's find an inn." Mei Lingling said flirtatiously, "Good husband, wait for me at an inn for a while. I'll be there soon. I'm begging you, all right?" Hearing Mei Lingling beg him, the young man could not bear to refuse, so he said, "All right then, I'll go to an inn first. Come quickly." Mei Lingling happily nodded and hurriedly ran off, and she found Zhao Fu in an empty alleyway. "Sir," Mei Lingling looked delighted, and her eyes were filled with anticipation as she called out excitedly. Seeing Mei Lingling chase after him, Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile. He had long since expected this outcome. With how licentious she would not be able to resist the 6 desires demonic qi at all. "Come." Zhao Fu spread out his arms and did not say any flowery words as he directly spoke to Mei Lingling. Mei Lingling happily leapt into Zhao Fu's embrace and tightly hugged Zhao Fu, greedily smelling Zhao Fu's scent. Zhao Fu also hugged her, looking like a pair of lovers. As the fair-skinned young man walked, he thought about Mei Lingling's appearance, and the more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was off. He hurriedly chased after Mei Lingling and saw the two of them intensely doing it in the alleyway. Ark, the fair-skinned young man's face was red, and he was furious to the extreme. Even though he had expected this, the scene was even more intense than he had expected, and his wife was even more licentious under another man. "I'll kill you," the fair-skinned young man furiously roared as he took out a weapon and desperately rushed at Zhao Fu, wanting to cut Zhao Fu into pieces. The guards beside him also rushed over with murderous looks on their faces. Zhao Fu pushed aside Mei Lingling and gave a trace of a cold smile as his nation armament's power exploded out. Zhao Fu wanted to deal with these people as quickly as possible. Bang! 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 After a few muffled sounds sounded out in the alleyway, everything calmed down and no one knew what had happened. Following this, Zhao Fu hugged Mei Lingling and walked out. Mei Lingling lay in Zhao Fu's embrace as she deliciously ate a white finger. There was a trace of blood at the corner of her lips, and with Mei Lingling's beautiful face, there was a strange sense of beauty that could cause anyone's hairs to stand on end. Husband, it's really delicious. It's really delicious. Can you give me another one? After eating that finger, Mei Lingling said coquettishly. Zhao Fu said with a smile, "We should leave this place as soon as possible. Although his aptitude is quite poor, he is still a prince. Dying here is a big deal. Moreover, refining him into a pill would have a better effect." "But husband, I want to eat it raw. Can I not refine it into a pill?" Mei Lingling pouted as she spoke to Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu asked in confusion, "Why do you want to eat it raw?" Mei Lingling replied with a smile, "That way, the blood of the royal family will be rich in flavor. This is something that pills don't have." Zhao Fu laughed as he said, "That's fine, but I'll only give you one hand because I want to use his bloodline to create the next evil flower demon." Mei Lingling hugged Zhao Fu happily. "Thank you, husband. I'll serve you well later." Zhao Fu smiled and hugged Mei Lingling as he turned into a ray of light and shot into the sky, disappearing. Roar! 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 A few massive monsters suddenly appeared in a city and gave off terrifying auras as they devoured people. Blood flew everywhere as howls continuously sounded out. Countless people ran in terror, wanting to escape from the city. However, most of the people were eaten, and only a few managed to escape. News of that monster spread even further. Its influence gradually grew. Countless people looked terrified when they heard that monster's name. Zhao Fu did not continue to eat the prince raw, and he had Yu Qianyue refine a demon pill before swallowing it. The demon pill instantly tore through Zhao Fu's body, and a massive wave of ferocious demonic qi flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, bringing with it a wild gale. Chapter 1473. This monster was 3 or so meters tall and did not have a head. Its upper body was naked, and its body was quite bloated. There was a large mouth on its massive stomach, and its hands were like sharp claws. There was black fur on its feet, and it looked quite terrifying. Now that the evil spirit abyss flower had reached stage 6, the evil flower demons could become 200 or so meters tall, and their various abilities had become much stronger. Zhao Fu could now control them from outside a region. Sensing their terrifying power, Zhao Fu grinned. Now, Zhao Fu had 6 evil flower demons, and he was 6 more away from reaching the final stage of the evil spirit abyss flower. Only then would Zhao Fu be able to awaken his demon star. Zhao Fu continued to capture demon beauties. His next target was the 8th-ranked demon beauty, Yi Lei Hua. She came from a sect that was slightly more powerful than the divine demon sect, and was one of the more powerful factions in the multitude demon region. Her big brother, Yi Hua, was now a student of the Nine-Hell Demon College and had quite a bit of fame. The Nine-Hell Demon College was one of the Heaven Awakened world's 7 great colleges, and its strength and history were about the same as the Human Domain's Emperor Path College. It was incredibly terrifying and powerful, and no one dared to offend it. It was a holy land for countless demon race geniuses, and countless people dreamed of entering it. Next year, the Nine-Hell Demon College would be recruiting new students, and it was said that Yi Lei Hua would be participating as well. She was currently preparing to do so. Zhao Fu remembered that he would be participating in the Emperor Path College's examination next year, and he did not have much time left. He felt that time was of the essence, and there were many things he had not done yet. However, if he could awaken his demon star, his strength would greatly increase. When that time came, Zhao Fu would have the confidence to face even more terrifying geniuses. Hearing that Yi Lei Hua was undergoing a trial in a danger zone, Zhao Fu had Yu Qianyue and the others wait elsewhere while he entered the danger zone by himself to search for Yi Lei Hua. This time, he felt that it would take quite some time. He did not know where Yi Lei Hua was, so Zhao Fu could only continuously go deeper into the danger zone. Since Yi Lei Hua's goal was to undergo a trial, she would definitely go deep into the danger zone, and he would most likely be able to find her there. Roar! A 10-meter-long demon lion gave a massive roar and gave off a terrifying aura as it leapt at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu swung his sword, sending out a crescent sword light that split the demon lion in half. Zhao Fu was now within the danger zone, and there were all sorts of powerful demonic beasts. Zhao Fu thought about it and released the evil flower demons. They could devour demonic beasts while searching for the night bud flowers, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. In one day, Zhao Fu found Night Lei Hua. She was fighting with a 1,000-meter-long demon grass. Zhao Fu looked at the demon grass and looked quite surprised. The demon grass had a few long leaves on its head, but there were human faces on its branches. It also had hands and feet, and it gave off a powerful demonic chi. This demon grass was no ordinary monster, as it was an incredibly precious demon grass. Now that it had become a monster, it was closer to the spirit race and had demonic attributes, making its effects dozens of times more powerful. With Night Lei Hua's power, she could easily kill the demon grass, but she did not directly attack it, and instead try to subdue it. This was because the demon grass was incredibly valuable, and subduing it would be hundreds of times better than killing it. Looking at the demon grass, Zhao Fu felt quite moved. This kind of precious demon grass could form very few devils, and it was an incredibly precious treasure. It would be very useful to Zhao Fu as well. Zhao Fu felt quite excited as he looked at the demon grass. Clang, clang, clang. Massive chains shot out from the ground with ferocious power. The demon grass was fighting with Night Lei Hua, and before it could react, it was bound up by the massive chains. Night Lei Hua was given a big fright and immediately looked around warily. Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile as he walked out. "Who are you?" "This demon grass is mine," Night Lei Hua said angrily as she looked at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "If you want it, I can give it to you. After all, everything that belongs to you is mine." Night Lei Hua did not understand what Zhao Fu meant, but her expression became serious because she felt that Zhao Fu was incredibly dangerous. Zhao Fu did not waste any time and exploded out with his nation armament's power, causing a massive aura of killing and conquering to sweep out like a wild gale. The countless creatures in the surroundings looked terrified as they quickly ran away, not daring to stay. Sensing this power, Night Lei Hua's expression fell, and she did not hesitate to turn and run. Because Zhao Fu was only an Earth Realm cultivator, she had not paid much attention to Zhao Fu. She had never thought that Zhao Fu would explode out with such terrifying power. Seeing Lei Hua run away, Zhao Fu disdainfully coldly laughed and stretched out his hand. A massive green aura flowed out, turning into a massive green hand that gave off a terrifying aura and grabbed towards Lei Hua. Night Lei Hua looked terrified and vigorously swung her sword, slashing out a sharp sword light. However, she was unable to deal any damage to the green hand at all. The green hand grabbed Night Lei Hua, and a massive wave of power flowed in her body, restricting her power before bringing her in front of Zhao Fu. "Let go of me." Night Lei Hua angrily glared at Zhao Fu and vigorously struggled. Zhao Fu smiled as he looked at Night Lei Hua. She had a voluptuous figure and wore a black palace dress. She was incredibly beautiful and gave off a ferocious aura. Sensing Zhao Fu's gaze, Night Lei Hua realized Zhao Fu's goal and cursed. "You perverted thief! I'm someone from the Demon Cloud sect, and my big brother is a student of the 9 Hell Demon College. If you dare to attack me, you won't have a good ending." Now, Zhao Fu had offended many higher beings and empires, so how could he fear the Demon Cloud sect and her big brother? He smiled and pulled her into his embrace, bringing her to the bound demon herb. Boom! Zhao Fu's body exploded out with his divine bloodline's aura and pressed down on the demon herb's body. If he wanted to subdue something, he would have to use power that they could not even touch. Sensing Zhao Fu's bloodline power, not only did the demon herb look terrified, but Night Lei Hua also looked at Zhao Fu in terror. Her body stiffened, and she felt as if she had fallen into a bottomless abyss. "Now, are you willing to submit to me?" Zhao Fu's terrifying eyes fell on the demon herb's body as he said with a dignified voice, under the terror of the divine bloodline's aura. How could the demon herb dare to resist Zhao Fu's words? It immediately looked like it was going to surrender. Zhao Fu smiled and set down restrictions in the demon herb's body before putting it into his spirit pet ring. Knight Lei Hua's expression was quite unsightly. Not only was Zhao Fu's power so terrifying, but his bloodline was also superior to hers. Just what was Zhao Fu's identity? Perhaps he was even more terrifying than she thought. No wonder he was not afraid of the Demon Cloud sect or the Nine-Hell Demon College. Chapter 1474. After coming to where Yu Qianwei and the other three women were hiding, Yilei Hua looked quite confused. She had never thought that there would be 4 demon beauties here. Why were the 4 demon beauties on the rankings here? Yilei Hua had a bad feeling about this. Zilingye crossed her arms and smiled. Looking at Yilei Hua now, she felt like she was looking at herself in the past. Husband, we have been waiting for you for a long time. When Mei Lingling saw that Zhao Fu had returned, she couldn't wait to throw herself into Zhao Fu's arms. She hugged Zhao Fu tightly, as if she was afraid of losing Zhao Fu. Husband, why haven't you eaten Sister Hua yet? Yu Qianyue's gaze fell on Yilei Hua. She discovered that Zhao Fu had been gone for so long, but he still hadn't touched Yilei Hua. Zhao Fu replied with a smile, I encountered some matters. That's right, I also subdued a demonic herb. Hearing their conversation, Yilei Hua's heart sank. It seemed that the 4 demon beauties in front of her were Zhao Fu's women. However, as demon beauties on the rankings, all of them were proud and arrogant. They had extraordinary talent and incomparably noble statuses. How could they become a man's woman? Husband, don't waste time, let's get started. Mo Wulin smiled happily and came to Yilei Hua's side. She took off Yilei Hua's clothes and pressed Yilei Hua to the bed. Yilei Hua's face became red as she looked at Mo Wulin angrily. Zhao Fu smiled as he pressed down on Yilei Hua's body, and Yilei Hua struggled as she said, no. However, Zhao Fu still violated her. The other women also joined in, and the sounds of sex were endless. While Zhao Fu was enjoying himself, the multitude demon region once again became lively. Before, an imperial kingdom's prince had died. Even though that prince's status in the imperial kingdom wasn't very high, he was still a prince. There was actually someone who dared to kill him, which meant that they did not give the imperial kingdom any face. The imperial kingdom was furious about this and immediately sent out many experts. In the end, the prince had been killed and Mei Lingling had been taken away. According to the reports, that person was a man and had violated Mei Lingling in an alleyway. The imperial kingdom was furious and sent out orders to hunt that person down. Yilei Hua, who had been training outside, had suddenly disappeared, and everyone could not help but guess what had happened recently. First, the young emperor's fiancée had been stolen, which was Yu Qianyue, and now, Yilei Hua had gone missing. They were the 10 most famous and beautiful women in the multitude demon region, and now 5 of them had gone missing. At this moment, even an idiot would understand that someone was trying to capture the 10 great witches. That perverted thief actually dares to target the 10 great witches? They're related to countless factions. Does he really not want to live anymore? This matter caused everyone in the multitude demon region to pay attention to it. The various large factions sent people to investigate, wanting to see who would be so bold as to steal one of the multitude demon region's 10 great demon beauties. This person did not place them in their eyes at all. Thinking about how those fairy-like demonesses had fallen into that bastard's hands and been trampled on endlessly, countless people felt incredibly regretful and sorrowful. But even more than that, they felt extreme hatred. After all, these were the 10 most beautiful women in the multitude demon region. Who would not want to possess them? However, 5 of them had been captured by that perverted demon. Those people would even be willing to die 100 times if they wanted to enjoy the pleasure of these 5 women. Many people shouted for that perverted demon to be captured and for him to suffer a fate worse than death. If they could not capture him, it would be a stain on the multitude demon region. Thinking about how the most beautiful person in their territory had been stolen by someone else, they would definitely be mocked by other places in the demon domain. As such, they definitely could not let that person have an easy time and had to capture him to serve as a warning to others. The various major powers also understood that person's goal, and they all began to track him down. At this moment, Yilei Hua was lying powerlessly on Zhao Fu's chest. Her face was flushed red as she panted. There was a trace of anger on her face. Her body had been taken by the bastard in front of her. Although she was immersed in it, she could not suppress the anger in her heart. Zilingye, who was at the side, smiled and hugged her. "All right, now that you've been taken, you can't resist. You'd better submit to him as soon as possible, for the sake of the future, otherwise you will suffer a bit. Also, now that you have obtained the power of the evil flower, it will be of great help to you. You might even be able to enter the 9-hell demon college because of it." Hearing this, Yilei Hua's expression softened, and she coldly asked, "Did that bastard do the same to you?" Zilingye smiled and nodded, saying, "The few of us can join forces to deal with this bastard and not let him bully us." A smile appeared on Yilei Hua's face as she responded softly. Zhao Fu could not help but lightly laugh. Hearing the two women's words, he said, "It's getting late, so get up. I still have to catch the next witch." Hearing this, the other women also got up and put on their clothes. Yilei Hua and Zilingye's relationship also became quite good. In just a short while, they were like real sisters, making others feel quite envious. When Zhao Fu came outside and found out that everyone in the multitude demon region was after him, his expression changed. Seeing this, the women smiled happily and finally let out a sigh of relief. There was no longer the depression caused by facing Zhao Fu before, and they were in a much better mood. Yu Qinhua lightly laughed as she said, "Husband, I told you before that there would be such terrible consequences. Now you know what fear is. Will you regret it?" Yilei Hua snorted. "You deserve it. A pervert like you will suffer retribution." Zilingye let out a series of laughter, unable to speak. Zhao Fu looked quite displeased, and Mei Lingling said flirtatiously, "Husband, it's not a big deal. I won't regret following you. I even blame myself for not meeting you." Hearing this, a smile appeared on Zhao Fu's face. "Husband, now that everyone in the multitude demon region is chasing after you, are you going to continue to catch the demon beauties?" Mo Walin asked as she looked at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "Let's give it a try first. The evil flower emissaries need women with outstanding talent, and if we can't obtain them in the multitude demon region, we can go elsewhere. It's just that it will be more troublesome." Mo Walin understood and nodded. She was worried that Zhao Fu would not be able to activate the evil flower bewitching world. Zilingye thought of something and smiled as she said, "Husband, I have a good relationship with the 7th-ranked witch, Lin Yuting. I have a good relationship with the 7th-ranked witch, Lin Yuting. I can help you, but how are you going to thank me?" Zhao Fu smiled as he looked at her and asked, "What do you want?" Chapter 1475. Zhao Fu thought for a moment before nodding and saying, "After everything settles down, I'll let you all go back and won't restrict your movements. However, if you dare to betray me, don't blame me." The other women happily smiled and nodded, but there was one who had not said anything yet. Zhao Fu looked at Yilei Hua. Facing Zhao Fu's gaze, Yilei Hua dissatisfiedly harumphed and said, "I understand, but you have to treat me sincerely in the future." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and nodded. Yilei Hua's expression softened, and she rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu as she said, "You're such a bastard. Not only did you take someone else's body, but you also want her to be your woman." Zhao Fu smiled and hugged her, and Yilei Hua did not struggle. Even though she looked quite displeased, she wrapped her arms around Zhao Fu's waist. Following this, Zhao Fu started to capture the 7th-ranked demon beauty, Lin Yuting. Lin Yuting was a very gentle and quiet-looking woman who wore a light green dress. She had a slim figure and tender skin, and she gave off a refreshing and refined aura. She came from a powerful family that was filled with books. Lin Yuting did not go out often and loved to stay in her room and quietly read books. To her, this was the happiest thing. She did not seem to know about the news that the demon beauty had been captured. Even though many people warned her to be careful, she did not pay too much attention to this matter. After all, Lin Yuting would not casually go out, and that person would not dare to directly enter the family. Lin Yuting turned around and forgot about this matter. She did not care about it at all and focused all her attention on the book. At that moment, a maidservant brought over a letter and a book, saying that it was from Lin Yuting's friend. Lin Yuting curiously opened it and found that it was a letter written by Lingye, saying that she had not seen her for a long time and had missed her. She invited her out to enjoy the scenery and relax. She had also given her a book. Lin Yuting looked at the cover of the book, which had the words Analects of Confucius written on it. Lin Yuting curiously flipped through it a few times and gave a sweet smile. She felt that she liked this book very much. After putting it away, Lin Yuting left the clan and went to the meeting place. She had a very good relationship with Lingye, so she didn't suspect anything and trusted her very much. She didn't know that Lingye was one of the demonesses who had been captured, and she had forgotten that there was a perverted thief who had been capturing demonesses everywhere. However, when she arrived at the rendezvous point, a figure suddenly hugged her and disappeared. She didn't even have time to react, and her body was instantly imprisoned by that person. She didn't have the slightest strength to resist, and after being teleported to another place, that person continued to carry her and fly to the side. At this moment, she could clearly see Zhao Fu's appearance. He could be described as a peerless beauty. His extraordinary temperament was even more captivating. In his embrace, she gently sniffed his scent. Lin Yuting's face became slightly red as she asked softly, "Young master, I'm quite curious. Why did you capture my daughter?" Zhao Fu looked at Lin Yuting in surprise. There was not a trace of fear in her eyes, and instead, she looked at him with a trace of curiosity. He smiled as he replied, "You'll know in a bit. Don't worry, I won't hurt you." Lin Yuting smiled and lightly nodded. She did not associate Zhao Fu with a big pervert. After that, Zhao Fu brought Lin Yuting to where Lingye and the other girls were. Lin Yuting looked at Lingye and the other demon ladies in surprise, wondering why they had appeared together. Among the 10 demon ladies, she was only familiar with Lingye. Lingye looked at Lin Yuting and smiled as she said, "Yuting, he didn't bully you, right?" By now, Zhao Fu had let go of Lin Yuting, and Lin Yuting turned to look at Zhao Fu and smiled as she shook her head before asking curiously, "Lingye, what's wrong?" She asked curiously, "Lingye, can you tell me what's going on?" Lingye went up and wrapped her arm around Lin Yuting's arm and brought her to the side. She told her about what had happened and some other things, causing Lin Yuting to look quite embarrassed. She lowered her head and did not dare to look at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu felt quite confused and did not understand what was going on. "Why aren't you coming over? Yuting has agreed to be your woman." Lingye glared at Zhao Fu as she reminded him. Zhao Fu felt quite delighted and went up to hug Lin Yuting's body. Lin Yuting's body stiffened and her face became bright red as she buried her head into Zhao Fu's embrace. What happened next did not need to be said. Furious, after hearing that another demon lady had gone missing, everyone in the multitude demon region was incredibly furious. That person was simply too arrogant. Now, everyone in the multitude demon region was looking for him and hunting him down, but he still dared to come out and commit such a big crime. He had almost completely ignored their existences and continued to capture demon ladies, as if they could not even catch him. This was purely a provocation, and everyone was naturally furious. Jealous. That was the second emotion. That perverted bandit had captured 6 of the 10 great demon beauties. Those were all kingdom-toppling beauties with extraordinary talent and noble statuses. Thinking of a person who could enjoy them, countless people couldn't help but cry out in excitement. That's right. However, they could think about it themselves, but they definitely could not accept such a beautiful woman panting under another man's body. As one of the high and mighty 10 demon ladies, She had countless admirers. After hearing about this, she felt as if a knife was being twisted in her heart, and tears flowed out of her eyes as she roared, "We have to kill that perverted demon." Now, the entire multitude demon region became incredibly lively. The calls to kill that perverted demon became louder and louder, and many people joined in. Normally, there would be rapists, perverted demons, and hooligans who wanted to take advantage of innocent women and thought that nothing would happen to them. However, they were being slaughtered, and even if they begged for mercy, it was useless. Their heads were directly cut off and hung on city walls. In some cities, thousands of heads would be hung every day. Such cruel and gory methods scared ordinary thieves, and they did not dare to do such things again. The chaotic and evil multitude demon region became more orderly under these cruel and bloody methods. It was not as chaotic as before, and the atmosphere gradually became better. Many residents could not help but thank that perverted demon. Without him, the atmosphere in the multitude demon region would not have become better, and they would have to live in fear every day. "Husband." Lin Yuting's voice was gentle as she called out happily. Zhao Fu felt quite startled and found that Lin Yuting really did like him. Out of the women by his side, none of them truly liked Zhao Fu, and this included Mei Lingling. She only liked Zhao Fu's body. Facing Lin Yuting's love, Zhao Fu felt quite uncomfortable. Thinking about how he had taken her, he could not help but feel a trace of guilt. Chapter 1476. The situation had become quite dangerous, and capturing the demon beauties would become incredibly difficult. Everyone was on guard, and the demon beauties now had experts protecting them. As long as Zhao Fu appeared, he would most likely die a horrible death. 6 of the 10 demon beauties had been captured by Zhao Fu, and they were ranked 5th to 10th. Now, there were only 4 left, and they were ranked in the top 4. Zhao Fu gathered information on the 4 of them to see if he could capture the demon beauties. If he could not, Zhao Fu would leave the multitude demon region. Now, everyone knew that the perverted bandit's target was the remaining demon beauties, so they all waited around them. Zhao Fu felt that there was no chance, and he could not find an opportunity to act for a few days, causing everyone to bitterly wait. That was until something happened that broke the stalemate. After hearing about what had happened recently, the second-ranked Luo Yinhua became very interested in that perverted demon. She announced that if Zhao Fu could capture her, she would willingly become his woman. Furthermore, no one would be able to protect her, not even the experts of her faction. No one could help her. Countless people were sent into an uproar. They had never thought that Luo Yinhua would do such a thing. Was she really not afraid of being captured by that perverted demon? Would she become such a perverted demon's woman? Everyone felt quite envious of that perverted demon. If Luo Yinhua had said that she would belong to anyone who captured her, it would have been great. Luo Yinhua was the second-ranked beauty, and she was devastatingly beautiful. The next day, that thought actually came true. Even so, Zhao Fu did not act, as he was worried that there would be a trap. This made Luo Yinhua feel quite displeased, and she announced that anyone could capture her. Anyone who could capture her would be able to spend the night with that person, and they would be able to do whatever they wanted with her. After hearing about this, everyone went crazy. Countless people ferociously gathered, thinking about how they could play with the multitude demon region's number 2 beauty. Their hearts thumped and their blood sped up. Their bodies felt hot, and they looked incredibly excited. However, after everyone arrived, they found that things were not so simple. Even though Luo Yinhua did not have anyone protecting her, she was within a large formation. This large formation covered a courtyard, and everything within 10,000 meters was also within its range. Luo Yinhua was in the courtyard, and if anyone entered the magic formation's range, the magic formation would attack. This magic formation was incredibly terrifying, and it was a famous magic formation in the demon domain. After entering, one's power would be greatly restricted, and one would not even be able to use nation armaments. One could only rely on one's hands and feet to pass through, and one could not rely on external items. In order to enjoy the second beauty, countless people rushed in regardless of everything. Screams rang out as countless people charged in. Before they could even understand what was going on, the demonic chi turned into devilish heads. These heads were 5 or 6 meters wide and looked quite savage. They had 2 horns and massive green eyes. They had mouths full of fangs and looked quite terrifying. After appearing, they attacked the countless people who rushed in and devoured them. Many people were so scared that they retreated. Although it was a happy thing to be able to enjoy a beauty, one had to be alive to enjoy it. Of course, there were also quite a few people who chose to continue participating. Most of them were physically strong and had great strength. Because they could not use anything, they could only rely on their own physical strength. They rushed up and clashed with the devilish heads, engaging in an intense battle. Some people punched out with ferocious fist images, which contained immense power as they blasted out, blasting apart a devil's head, causing it to turn into demonic chi and disappear. Some people rushed over and swept out with their legs, sending the devil's head flying. Some people were bitten by the devilish heads, and their bodies were torn in half, causing ear-piercing cries and blood to spurt everywhere. Some people were eaten by the devilish heads and started to chew on them. Some people screamed as their bodies were bitten into pieces. Almost none of the countless people who rushed and came out alive, and no one dared to continue. In the face of such great death, the maddened people calmed down. Looking at the blood and severed limbs, they understood that they would not be able to pass through this demonic formation. At the center of the magic formation, a tall and slim woman with a peerlessly beautiful face and a flirtatious aura coldly laughed as she said, "Do these people really think they can obtain me so easily? They're seeking their own deaths." However, the person she cared about still had not appeared. This caused her to slightly frown. She wanted to use this opportunity to capture that perverted thief and see just who he was to be so daring as to capture demon beauties and treat them as prey. Luo Yinhua felt quite displeased about this. She frowned and looked at the perverted thief. After capturing that perverted demon, Luo Yinhua planned to cut off his scourge and feed it to dogs before stripping him naked and parading him around. This was the result of trying to capture them. Roar, roar, roar. Suddenly, 6 massive roars sounded out as 6 200-meter-tall monsters appeared in the sky, giving off massive amounts of evil demonic chi. They opened their mouths and sucked towards the magic formation, and the dense demonic chi within the magic formation was sucked into their mouths. The magic formation continuously gave off demonic chi, and the 6 monsters madly devoured it, forming 6 massive streams of chi. The light that the magic formation gave off became dim. Everyone did not understand what was going on, nor did they know who had done this. However, if the demonic formation was destroyed, there would be nothing stopping them from stealing Luo Yinhua, making them feel incredibly delighted. Some people once again charged into the magic formation and charged towards the courtyard at the center with lewd smiles on their faces. It was as if they could already feel the second-ranked woman moaning beneath them, making them go mad. Luo Yinhua looked quite startled, but she was not completely unprepared. She immediately activated the second magic formation. Boom! A massive storm of sword chi spread out from the courtyard, giving off power that seemed to be able to slash apart everything as it spread out. The people charging up looked terrified, and their hair stood on end under the massive storm of sword chi. Before they could even move, they were cut into countless pieces of meat by the storm of sword chi. The massive storm of sword chi was not over yet, and it continued to rush towards the people outside the magic formation with terrifying power. Everyone's faces became pale, and they immediately turned and ran. Luo Yinhua coldly laughed and controlled the sword chi formation to continue killing. None of the people who had come here were good people, so she naturally would not hold back. Killing so many men who had been spying on her gave her quite a bit of pleasure. Ching! Chapter 1477. A black-cloaked figure holding a terrifying demonic sword gave off an aura that seemed to rule over the heavens and earth, causing countless creatures' hearts to tremble. Boom! A terrifying sword light slashed out, giving off terrifying sword energy as it slashed against the magic formation. The sword formation was split apart, and a shockwave spread out. Luo Yinhua's expression was quite unsightly. She had never thought that such a powerful sword formation would be split apart by a single strike. However, she was still prepared, and a large formation gradually appeared. This formation was her trump card, and it was the most powerful formation out of the 3 magic formations. However, before the magic formation could be unleashed, the 6 terrifying monsters leapt onto it and started to tear at it as if they were eating it. This caused Luo Yinhua's expression to fall because she could sense that the magic formation's power was being devoured by the 6 monsters. Before she could react, a figure descended from the sky and easily subdued Luo Yinhua before turning into a ray of light and disappearing. Everyone looked incredibly envious. That person would be able to enjoy the second-ranked woman in the multitude demon region today. However, everyone was quite curious as to who that person was. However, everyone quickly realized something. Was it the terrifying figure that just appeared, that perverted thief? Because no one had personally seen him, they did not know what that perverted demon looked like. However, from what they had sensed, they were certain that that person was the incredibly arrogant, perverted demon. Fudge! Countless people came to their senses and cried out. Now, that perverted demon had captured another demon beauty in front of everyone, making them feel incredibly furious. Before, everyone had thought that with the various factions chasing after him, that perverted demon would not dare to act again. However, he had still acted and had succeeded. Now, 7 demon beauties had been captured by that bastard. However, everyone had made great gains because this was the first time that perverted demon had appeared in front of them. He was incredibly powerful. Luo Yinhua had sought death and underestimated that perverted demon's power. She did not want any faction's protection and had openly provoked him, resulting in her being captured. It was not just Luo Yinhua. Everyone else had personally witnessed that perverted demon's power and had underestimated him. They had never thought that he would have such terrifying power. If he wasn't a perverted demon, he would be able to rival the top-ranked genius in the multitude demon region. However, with such great talent and power, he could do anything else but become a perverted thief that everyone wanted to beat up. Furthermore, he was so arrogant and domineering. In the small forest, Luo Yinhua panted. She was already being violated by the thing that she wanted to cut off and feed to the dog. Although she was unwilling, she was still immersed in it and could not pull herself out. Bastard! Afterwards, Luo Yinhua powerlessly lay in Zhao Fu's embrace, her face red as she angrily looked at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu chuckled and said, "Why are you scolding me? Didn't you say that as long as I get my hands on you, I can play with your body however I want? You are a bastard." Luo Yinhua was still angry, and she glared at Zhao Fu as she cursed. Zhao Fu felt quite displeased and pressed down on her, ravaging her again. In the end, he hugged Luo Yinhua, who had turned into a puddle of mud, and returned to the meeting place with Yu Qianyue and the other women. "Husband, why are you spoiling her outside? Don't you know that we're waiting here to serve you together?" Mei Lingling said in a displeased voice. Luo Yinhua's face became red, and she buried her head in Zhao Fu's embrace. Seeing that the other demon beauties were no longer resisting and had submitted to Zhao Fu, she felt quite surprised. However, she could guess at the reason for this. Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "The outside world is becoming more and more dangerous, and there are more and more people looking for me. Perhaps I'll be captured by your factions, and if I take you, I might be able to use you to save my life. Husband, now that you're in such danger, are you still going to continue to capture demon beauties?" Yu Qianyue asked worriedly. Zhao Fu thought about it and nodded. "There are only 3 left, so I can try. If it doesn't work, I'll give up. Don't worry about me. She'll be there for you to take care of. I'll go out again, and they definitely won't expect me to continuously commit crimes." Zilingye smiled as she stretched out her hand and hugged the powerless Luo Yinhua, saying softly, "Be careful, husband. We don't want anything to happen to you." Hearing this, Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. "Husband, let's do it one more time, all right?" Mei Lingling hugged Zhao Fu's arm as she said coquettishly. Because of time constraints, Zhao Fu rejected her, and he turned into a ray of light and disappeared. Zilingye hugged Luo Yinhua and sighed in amazement. As expected from the second-ranked demon beauties, even I can't help but feel moved. Husband must have doted on you for a long time, right? Is that why you're like this now? Luo Yinhua's face became red, and she thought about what had just happened. She said bitterly, "Were all of you bullied by that perverted bandit?" The women could empathize with her, as they had all been through the same thing. However, they had come to terms with it now. Zilingye smiled and nodded. Looking at the beauty in her embrace, she kissed Luo Yinhua's lips. Luo Yinhua felt quite surprised, but the evil flower and 6 desires demonic qi within her body caused her to respond to Zilingye. Mei Lingling happily joined in, and the valiant Mo Wuling seemed to like this as well, so she also joined in. Indescribable noises continuously sounded out in the room. When Zhao Fu was not here, they could only rely on themselves. Zhao Fu now looked at the 4th-ranked demon beauties. She was called Wu Jiu'er and came from a large family. She had a gentle personality and treated people kindly. She did not put on airs and was liked by many people. She now had an expert who surpassed the Emperor Heaven Realm protecting her, so Zhao Fu naturally did not dare to act rashly. If he appeared and faced an expert of that level, even with his nation armament, Zhao Fu would die here. However, Zhao Fu had an idea, which was to use one of Wu Jiu'er's weaknesses. Zhao Fu had captured the person she loved. Her family already had an expert, so Zhao Fu could not do anything to her family. In actuality, she had a little brother, and if he could capture him, he could use him to threaten Wu Jiu'er. However, he found that this was not possible, so he chose to capture the person she loved. The person she loved was only the young master of a small family. Even though he was elegant and graceful, he was not very strong. Her family naturally did not agree to this, so they were forbidden from interacting with each other. Of course, this young master did not have anyone protecting him, and he could not resist Zhao Fu, so capturing him would be very easy. Chapter 1478. The handsome-looking young man said coldly, "Just kill me. I wouldn't do such a thing. You're most likely that incredibly daring and arrogant perverted bandit. How could I let Jiu'er fall into the hands of someone like you?" Zhao Fu felt quite surprised. He had never thought that the handsome-looking young man would be able to guess his identity so quickly. He lightly laughed as he said, "However, with your status and talent, you can't be with her. Why don't you let me have some benefits?" The young man coldly said, "I'm not like you. I like Jiu'er and can do anything for her, even if I have to die. If you truly like her, I might give you my blessings, but what kind of person are you? You're a perverted bandit who only knows how to violate women and never cares about their feelings. People like you are a disgrace to me." Zhao Fu felt quite annoyed and vigorously swung his hand, sending out a sword light that chopped off the young man's arm. The young man endured the pain as blood continuously flowed out from his arm. He coldly looked at Zhao Fu and said, "I'd advise you to kill me as soon as possible. I won't do anything for you. Your scheme won't succeed." Zhao Fu coldly laughed and went up to pick up the severed arm. He poured some spirit medicine on the young man's wound to help him recover, and he said, "It's enough that I have your arm. If she really loves you, she'll disregard everything and come over." The young man realized this and furiously cursed, "You scum, you beast! If you dare to do this, I definitely won't let you off." Zhao Fu did not care about the danger he was in. This kind of person will be trampled on by others for the rest of his life. He would not have any chance to turn things around. Zhao Fu ignored the young man and left with the severed arm. After a while, Zhao Fu brought in a slender and beautiful woman in a blue ancient dress. She gave off a gentle aura and was quite gentle. "Jiu'er, why are you here? Hurry and leave. Don't worry about me, the young man said loudly as he looked at Wu Jiu'er. Wu Jiu'er looked at the young man with a severed arm and a weak aura, and tears danced in her eyes as she shook her head and said, Xianjia, I'm here to save you. Don't worry, he won't harm you again. Also, there are many treasures in this spatial ring that I prepared for you. Take good care of yourself in the future. Hearing her words, the young man naturally understood what she meant and said in pain, You agreed to his request. Why were you so stupid? He's just a perverted bastard. You agreeing to his request was harming yourself. Wu Jiu'er nodded with tears in her eyes. I know that, but I want to save you. As long as you're well, I'll be satisfied. Wu Jiu'er cried as she struggled in, Woo 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 king and king. Wu Jiu'er cried as she vigorously struggled in Zhao Fu's embrace and hit him. She understood what Zhao Fu wanted to do to her. The young man Wu Jiu Chun and King, Chun said. Man of Jiu of Chun, however, Zhao Fu did not mind. He came to the room and said softly in Wu Jiu'er's ear, Remember our deal, or else don't blame me for killing him. Wu Jiu'er stopped struggling and took off her clothes. Hearing the sounds coming from the room, the young man felt as if a knife was stabbing into his heart. Thinking about the woman he loved being violated by another man, he felt as if he was better off dead, and he felt a sense of despair. However, what happened next caused the young man to feel even more pain. He heard the woman he loved moan lewdly under another man's body, begging that man to violate her. 4 or 5 hours later, the young man sat there in a daze, his face covered with tears as if he had lost all signs of life. Zhao Fu hugged Wu Jiu'er and walked out. Wu Jiu'er's aura had greatly changed from a beautiful woman to a gentle young woman. She gave off a mature aura, and because Wu Jiu'er had been a virgin before, Zhao Fu did not care too much about this. Seeing the young man like this, Wu Jiu'er thought about how lewd she had been under Zhao Fu'er's body, and she felt so guilty that she started to cry. She felt that she did not have the face to see him, so she turned her face away. Zhao Fu hugged her and threw a ring to the young man, which contained some demonic treasures. He smiled as he said to Wu Jiu'er, Let's go. Wu Jiu'er looked at the young man worriedly and said to Zhao Fu, What about the restrictions on his body? Also, you have to send him away from here. If my family finds out that I ran out for him, he'll definitely die. Zhao Fu frowned and said unhappily, None of this has anything to do with me. Wu Jiu'er looked at him pleadingly as she said, Husband, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I promise to be your woman in the future and won't betray you. Looking at her like this, Zhao Fu breathed out and agreed. Following this, Zhao Fu brought Wu Jiu'er to the meeting place. Looking at the women lying on the bed with red faces, Zhao Fu knew what had happened. Husband, them. Wu Jiu'er's face was red. She knew that the women on the bed were all demon beauties, and they had done such things together. Zhao Fu looked quite calm because he had seen this many times. Sometimes, when he was not back, the women in his harem would satisfy each other like this. However, they could only slightly reduce their desires, and they still had to rely on Zhao Fu. At the same time, Zhao Fu knew who started it. When Zhao Fu had done it with Zilingye, he knew that she not only liked men, but also women. Zhao Fu did not pay too much attention to the women in the room, and said to Wu Jiu'er, You stay here. I'm going to capture the remaining demon beauties. Wu Jiu'er gently nodded. Because Zhao Fu had promised her to help the person she loved, she had a good impression of Zhao Fu, and she said caringly, Be careful. Zhao Fu smiled and kissed her before leaving. Out of the 10 demon beauties, only the first-ranked and third-ranked demon beauties remained. News of Wu Jiu'er's disappearance had long since spread. Countless people felt as if they were going to explode from anger. This perverted bandit was simply too arrogant. The factions with demon beauties all hated Zhao Fu to death, and they just wanted to blast him into pieces and imprison his soul so that he would never be able to reincarnate. Now, countless people were searching for Zhao Fu's whereabouts, and the multitude demon region became even more chaotic because that perverted bandit was simply too arrogant. 8 of the multitude demon region's 10 most beautiful demon beauties had been captured by him, and they had definitely been harmed by that bastard. Now, there were only 2 left, so they had to protect the remaining demon beauties no matter what, and could not let that perverted demon succeed. Chapter 1479. There were some higher beings among them. Zhao Fu had made such a big deal out of this, so those higher beings knew that if they really wanted to interfere, Zhao Fu definitely would not be able to succeed. However, they did not interfere and seemed to be waiting for something. Moreover, they told the Emperor Heaven Realm experts and above not to participate, allowing Zhao Fu to wreak havoc in the multitude demon region. The higher-level experts did not act, and the lower-level people felt quite sullen. They chased after Zhao Fu everywhere and would not rest until he was dead. Zhao Fu set his sights on the 3rd-ranked demon beauty. She was called Shuryeya and came from sect. She had an incredibly prestigious status and was the sect master's daughter. Now that there were people guarding by her side, Zhao Fu could not get close at all and could only observe from nearby. He found that there were 20 or so Emperor Heaven Realm experts hidden in the air. Luckily, there were no experts who surpassed the Emperor Heaven Realm. After thinking about it, Zhao Fu went to a city near the sect and stood at the center of the city. A massive wave of demonic qi flowed out from Zhao Fu's body, and Zhao Fu's eyes became like the evil spirit abyss flowers. Boom! Zhao Fu squatted down and pressed a hand against the ground, and a massive wave of demonic qi flowed into the ground. The demonic qi continuously spread out and covered the entire city. At that moment, the countless people in the city all froze. The city seemed to be frozen as black roots stretched out from the ground and stabbed into their bodies. Their eyes gradually turned black. Zhao Fu gave a satisfied smile. Now, Zhao Fu was using the evil spirit abyss flower's power to control everyone in the city. Following this, Zhao Fu controlled a few more cities' people and had them attack other places, causing chaos and drawing the people protecting Shuryeya here before making a move against her. Zhao Fu's plan was quite successful. Most of the people protecting Shuryeya were drawn away, and only 5 or 6 Emperor Heaven Realm experts remained. However, even if there were only 5 or 6, it was not something that Zhao Fu could defend against. Zhao Fu thought about it and decided to use that method. Roar. 6 massive roars sounded out as 6 massive monsters giving off demonic qi appeared in the crowd and started a massacre, madly devouring countless people. Blood splattered everywhere, and severed limbs flew everywhere. The people in the surroundings started to attack the 6 massive monsters, and the Emperor Heaven Realm experts also prepared to attack and kill the 6 monsters. Roar. But at this time, Zhao Fu, who was hiding on the side, formed a seal with his hands. The 6 monsters suddenly raised their heads and let out a painful roar. The sound penetrated the cloud platform and shook the surroundings, shocking everyone. The 6 monsters had pained looks on their faces as large roots extended from their bodies and stabbed into the ground. Some of the roots continued to grab people and eat them, and their bodies continued to grow. The demonic energy in the surroundings madly gathered together, and a formless aura spread out. The weather changed, and the clouds surged as thunder boomed. The demonic qi was chaotic. The 6 monsters madly grew and turned into 6 plants that were hundreds of meters wide. The roots were pale white and had a few sword-shaped leaves. There was a massive flower bud at the top that was black and gave off a terrifying and evil aura. When these 6 flowers appeared, everyone's hearts sank as if they had fallen into an abyss. They felt an extreme sense of danger, and their bodies violently trembled. Demonic qi flooded into the flowers, and a terrifying power spread out, causing everyone in the surroundings to feel extreme terror. The 6 flower buds started to slowly bloom, giving off an evil, bewitching, and beautiful aura. Countless traces of black light shined out, illuminating the heavens and earth, making the entire world seem like a dream. Coquettish laughter sounded out as countless flirtatious women appeared in the sky. All of them were extremely beautiful, and it could make people's hearts tremble. Everyone's bodies froze as they stared at the demon beauties, unable to move at all, including the Emperor Heaven Realm experts. This was the evil flower bewitching world, but it was not the true evil flower bewitching world, and could only be called an incomplete version. After all, Zhao Fu did not have 12 evil flower demons yet. Only by collecting 12 evil flower demons would he be able to unleash the true evil flower bewitching world. However, this level of the evil flower bewitching world was already quite terrifying, and even Emperor Heaven Realm experts would fall into an illusion. If ordinary people were placed within the evil flower bewitching world, their bodies and souls would be corroded by the evil flower power, turning them into emotionless, painless, and fearless evil flower puppets that only knew how to follow orders. Of course, this was not enough to corrode Emperor Heaven Realm experts, but Zhao Fu was already quite satisfied with being able to confuse Emperor Heaven Realm experts. Zhao Fu did not waste any time and rushed into the courtyard. He saw a sweet-looking woman with a graceful figure, fair skin, and a graceful figure standing there in a daze. She was Shiya, the third-ranked demon beauties. She was also affected by the evil flower bewitching world, and Zhao Fu smiled as he hugged her and turned into a ray of light as he shot into the sky. Zhao Fu had thought that there would not be any obstructions and that he would be able to return to the meeting place. However, after flying for a while, he was blocked by a tall, slim, and extremely beautiful woman in white who gave off a cold aura. This woman had extreme divine realm cultivation and was incredibly powerful, as she gave off an intense and dangerous aura. Zhao Fu looked quite confused because the woman in front of him was the multitude demon region's first-ranked demon beauty, Zhu Tianling. As expected from the first-ranked beauty, she was even more beautiful than the second-ranked Luo Yanhua. In front of her, the world seemed to dim. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and leave. Zhu Tianling's cold eyes fell on Zhao Fu's body as she spoke calmly. Zhao Fu did not know how to react and looked at Zhu Tianling in confusion. He did not know what she was talking about, but since she had delivered herself to him, Zhao Fu really did feel like grabbing her. Seeing Zhao Fu's reaction, Zhu Tianling explained, "I'm your woman now. If you don't feel at ease with me, you can place a restriction within my body." Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt quite confused and warily retreated 10 or so meters. This was the first time he had seen Zhu Tianling take the initiative like this, and Zhao Fu suspected that there was some sort of scheme going on, so he was wary of what Zhu Tianling would do. Zhu Tianling slightly frowned and said coldly, "If you don't hurry up, the others will catch up. Don't regret it." Hearing this, Zhao Fu understood that time was of the essence and asked, "Why are you doing this? I don't have enough charm to make you do this." Zhu Tianling replied, "You'll know in the future." Zhao Fu felt quite confused and did not understand what Zhu Tianling meant. However, since she had delivered herself to him and did not resist, would he be too stupid not to accept her? Chapter 1480. After returning to the meeting place, the women were quite surprised. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would bring the top-ranked demon beauties and third-ranked demon beauties. By now, the third-ranked demon woman had woken up and was no longer affected by the evil flower. Seeing that she had been captured and brought here, she angrily stood there with her arms crossed, not saying anything. This room had gathered all of the multitude demon region's 10 great beauties. Ordinary people would not be able to imagine or do such a crazy thing. To be able to enjoy the 10 great demon beauties, countless people felt incredibly envious and jealous. "Come on, give me your strength." Zhu Tianling's expression was cold as she took off her clothes and looked at Zhao Fu as she spoke calmly. Looking at the incredibly beautiful Zhu Tianling, Zhao Fu felt quite tempted as he walked over and hugged her and started to do it. The other women smiled and joined in. A few hours later, Zhao Fu hugged the red-faced Zhu Tianling and asked curiously, "Can you tell me why you came to find me?" Zhu Tianling lightly panted as she looked at the man hugging her. Now that she had become his woman, there was no need to hide anything. So she said, "It's for your evil flower power and to become an evil flower emissary." Was that your goal in capturing the demon woman? Zhao Fu looked quite confused as he asked, "How do you know I have the evil flower's power? Why do you know my motive?" Zhu Tianling replied, "I can't say it now. You'll understand later." Zhao Fu was a bit dissatisfied. He did not know what would happen in the future, but because he could not ask anything, Zhao Fu did not care for now. Beside him, Shi Yi saw that Zhao Fu was completely focused on Zhu Tianling. Both of them had been violated by that bastard Zhao Fu at the same time, but she had been ignored. Feeling wronged and angry, she lightly hit Zhao Fu's chest. Zhao Fu turned to look at the wrong Shi Yi and lightly laughed as he asked, "What is it?" Seeing Zhao Fu look at her, Shi Yi felt a bit better. However, she still angrily harumphed and ignored Zhao Fu's words as she looked at Zhao Fu. Seeing how cute she was, Zhao Fu wanted to do it again, but Zhu Tianling flipped over and pressed down on him. "You've already collected 10 demon beauties, and you're only 2 away from 12 evil flower emissaries. I want to be the head of the evil flower. Out of all these women, I'm much more outstanding in terms of looks, talent, and status. I'm the most suitable." Zhao Fu looked at Zhu Tianling in surprise. He had never thought that she would be so proactive. However, her words caused the other demon women to feel quite displeased. Even though they knew that Zhu Tianling was right, they still felt quite dissatisfied. After being taught a lesson by the women, Luo Yinhua also submitted to Zhao Fu. As the second-ranked demon beauty, she was unwilling to fall behind Zhu Tianling. Her relationship with Zhu Tianling was not good to begin with, and they were enemies. "Husband, I also want to be the head of the evil flower emissaries. I'll properly serve you," Luo Yinhua said flirtatiously as she hugged Zhao Fu's arm. Mo Wulin and Zi Lingye also said, "Husband, I also want to be the head of the evil flower emissaries." Zhao Fu felt quite helpless. All of the women wanted to be the head of the evil flower emissaries, and the head of the evil flower emissaries was the leader of the evil flower emissaries. When Zhao Fu wasn't here, the other evil flower emissaries had to follow her. She was in charge of controlling the situation, and she would have more evil flower power than the others. By now, Zhu Tianling had taken the initiative to serve Zhao Fu, and the other women did not want to fall behind. Zhu Tianling lay in Zhao Fu's embrace with a red face and a trace of a confident smile as she said, "I'm the leader of the evil flowers now." Zhao Fu nodded with a smile. Even though the women were unwilling, they still accepted this result. Zhao Fu had doted on her the longest, so her body had absorbed far more evil flower power than them. They could not last that long, and their bodies could not contain that much evil flower power. After resting, Yu Qinhua said, "Husband, it's time for you to leave." "Where are we going now?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment before replying, "Now that we've achieved our goal, we should leave the multitude demon region because it's too dangerous here. As for our destination, we can go deeper into the demon domain because there's a historical remnant there." All the women understood and responded. At that moment, Zhu Tianling said, "Husband, I have something else for you. It should be of use to you." As she spoke, Zhu Tianling took out a heart that was as big as a rubber ball from her spatial ring. This heart was bright red and was still vigorously beating, giving off thumping sounds and giving off a masculine aura. This is the ancient tiger demon's heart. After you eat it, you'll be able to transform into an evil flower demon. Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt quite startled. He felt that Zhu Tianling already knew most of his things, and she seemed to understand more about the evil spirit abyss flower. However, Zhao Fu was quite at ease with Zhu Tianling because her body and soul were already under Zhao Fu's control. Moreover, if Zhao Fu died, she would also die, so he did not have to worry about her motives. Zhao Fu received the ancient tiger demon's heart and started to eat it. The evil spirit abyss flower had shocking digestive abilities, and even though it was as big as a rubber ball, Zhao Fu did not have any reaction after eating it, and it was quickly digested. It was just that the women by his side could not accept it for now. Seeing how bloody Zhao Fu was eating the heart, they did not like it. Zhao Fu ate it deliciously. The ancient tiger demon's heart was incredibly fresh, and the meat was tender and warm. Boom! A massive wave of demonic qi flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, and Zhao Fu looked incredibly pained. The demonic qi started to quickly condense, and a 3-meter-tall monster appeared. This monster had a human's body and a tiger's head. It was covered with black fur and had a massive black pupil. It also had a large mouth, and its teeth were not only large but also incredibly sharp. They gave off a trace of cold light and could cause people to feel fear. Now, Zhao Fu had 7 evil flower demons, and the evil spirit abyss flower had reached its 7th stage. The 7 evil flower demons had become much stronger and could grow to 500 meters tall. Moreover, Zhao Fu could control them from 10 regions away. Zhao Fu was now 2 away from the 10 demon beauties and 5 from the 7 evil flower demons. He was getting closer and closer to awakening a demon star. After packing his things, Zhao Fu and the women quickly left this dangerous multitude demon region. The multitude demon regions, people felt like they were going to explode from anger. When the 3rd-ranked Shuriya had been taken, the 1st-ranked demon beauties had also disappeared. They had most likely been captured by that perverted demon. Chapter 1481. This was an absolute humiliation. That perverted bandit was simply too arrogant and domineering, and everyone wanted to eat him up. It was a pity that by now, Zhao Fu had already left with everyone and headed deeper into the demon domain. A few days later, Zhao Fu and the women were resting on a grassy field. Ziyu, the little mouse, was now as fat as a ball, and she lay on Zhao Fu's shoulder lazily as if she did not have any strength left. However, she looked more and more adorable. Shuriya greatly liked Ziyu and would often bring her over. However, perhaps it was because of Zhao Fu's divine bloodline, but Ziyu still liked to stay by Zhao Fu's side. Mei Lingling and Luo Yinhua lay in Zhao Fu's embrace. They were the most attached to Zhao Fu, and when Luo Yinhua had been taken by Zhao Fu, she had felt quite resentful. Now, she was just as lured by Zhao Fu's side as Mei Lingling was. After being nurtured by Zhao Fu for a few days, the women's faces became ruddy and they looked incredibly beautiful, making people's hearts flutter. Suddenly, a massive explosion sounded out as a massive aura of killing and conquering flooded over from a distance. A large group of roughly 200,000 people appeared, but they were all stage 5 soldiers. The demonic qi they gave off was incredibly powerful, and it was not any weaker than the millions of stage 1 soldiers. Seeing the large number of stage 5 soldiers, Zhao Fu understood that they had come to the inner regions of the demon domain. After all, most of the heaven domain soldiers were at stage 5, and it was rare to see stage 4 soldiers. The leader was a young man giving off an evil-looking air, and there were a few people with powerful auras beside him. The grassy field where Zhao Fu was resting was on the path of the army, and it was impossible for them not to discover Zhao Fu and the others. When the evil-looking young man saw the 10 peerless beauties by Zhao Fu's side, his heart trembled. He had never seen so many beauties before, and he felt as if he was going to jump out, and his eyes lit up. "You guys go and snatch those women for me and kill that man." The evil-looking young man looked at those women in an infatuated manner and loudly ordered the powerful people around him. He wanted to obtain those women at all costs. If he could enjoy even one, he would do anything. A burly man at the side reminded with a troubled expression, "Young master, I think those people are not simple. If ordinary people saw our army, they would have already retreated to the side, not daring to obstruct us. But now they are ignoring us. That means they are very powerful. Also, young master, this time we're going to suppress the rebellion in Baluo City. We should listen to your mother's orders and not cause any trouble." The evil-looking teenager shouted angrily, "Are you going to listen to me now? Or should I listen to my mother? If you don't listen to me, I'll kill you right now. Do you believe me?" Looking at the 10 women in front of him, the evil-looking young man felt that he had fallen madly in love with them. No matter what, he wanted to possess them. How could he give up so easily? The big man's expression was quite unsightly, and after thinking about it, he could only agree. He led the tens of thousands of Stage 5 soldiers to surround those people, wanting to force them to submit. Moreover, with the army present, they would feel a bit more confident. Our young master has taken a liking to you guys. Come back with me now. As long as you serve our young master well, not only will you guys live, your man won't die either. The big man rode on his horse and looked down as he spoke to Zhao Fu and the others. Luo Yanhua, who was nestled in Zhao Fu's embrace, lightly laughed and said, "Who does your young master think he is? He wants us to serve him together? You're picking any one of us, and she's 100 times more prestigious than your young master." Hearing this, the big man's heart sank and felt that Luo Yanhua was right. They were simply too beautiful, and one would not be able to pick one out of hundreds of millions of people. At the same time, the big man felt that these people were incredibly dangerous. Even though Zhao Fu and the others were hiding their cultivations, he could clearly sense how terrifying Zhao Fu and the others were. After thinking about it, the big man decided to go back and persuade their young master. Zi Lingye coldly harumphed. "Do you think we're that easy to talk to? Do you think you can come as you please? Do you think you can leave as you please? Husband, the evil flower demons need flesh and blood, so we can eat them all." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Hearing this, the big man felt a chill in his heart and was about to give the order to kill these people to see if he could deal with them first. If he could successfully kill them and bring them to his young master, he would be able to deal with them while they were hot. That way, the big man would be able to complete his order. However, before the big man could react, an extremely sharp sword light flashed out and blood flew everywhere as the big man's head fell off. It was Zhu Tianling who had instantly killed a world realm expert with a single strike. She was incredibly powerful, and Zhao Fu had to use his nation armament's full power to suppress her. The army surrounding them felt quite startled and prepared to attack Zhao Fu and the others. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions sounded out as massive and ferocious demonic chi flowed out. 7 monsters that were 500 meters tall and gave off terrifying power appeared and started to ferociously attack the countless soldiers. The tiger demon's evil flower demon slashed out with its claws, sending hundreds of Stage 5 soldiers flying. The defensive barriers were unable to stop it at all, and the hundreds of Stage 5 soldiers had 5 wounds on their bodies, making it incredibly easy for them to die. The tiger demon then slashed out with its claws, instantly killing hundreds of soldiers and devouring their corpses. The headless evil flower demon's mouth suddenly sucked, giving off a suction force that was many times stronger than the other evil flower demons. Not only were countless soldiers sucked into its mouth, but the ground cracked open and dirt was also sucked in. It was an elderly evil flower demon with 2 large mouths on its throat. It lay on the ground and grabbed dozens of soldiers and sent them into its mouth, madly devouring them and attacking with its legs. Even though the countless Stage 5 soldiers were powerful and did not fear battle, Zhao Fu's evil flower demons were immune to ordinary attacks from Emperor Heaven Realm experts. How could these ordinary Stage 5 soldiers attack the evil flower demons? Facing the evil flower demons, they could not resist at all and could only die. Seeing how terrifying the evil flower demons were, the tens of thousands of soldiers suffered heavy losses in just a few moments. The ground was covered with blood and severed limbs, and countless people howled in pain. They could only run towards their young master. The young master's expression fell. He had never thought that Zhao Fu and the others would be so powerful. Even though he still had 100,000 soldiers, they were not a match for the evil flower demons, so the young master could only give the order to run. Zhao Fu naturally could not let him off, so he ordered the evil flower demons to chase after them and continue to devour these Stage 5 soldiers. The other women also acted. Chapter 1482. With their help, the 200,000 Stage 5 soldiers all died, and not a single one escaped. The ground was covered with blood, giving off a dense stench of blood, and the 7 evil flower demons happily ate the corpses. From the start, Zhao Fu had not done anything, and he had not even moved from his position on the grass. They had dealt with everything because without using their nation armaments, Zhao Fu was not a match for them at all. Mo Wulin picked up the evil-looking young man and threw him in front of Zhao Fu, and she vigorously kicked him. Such a fellow wanted to take her, and he was simply humiliating her. The young man looked terrified as he knelt on the ground and begged, "Don't kill me. I'll give you anything you want. I'm the young master of Lui City, and my mother is the city lord of Lui City." Zhao Fu did not know what faction this was, and he looked at the other demon beauties. They did not know either, but it was most likely a small faction. "Do you have any demonic treasures or demonic creatures? If I'm satisfied, I'll spare your life." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said to the evil-looking young man. He did not forget his goal, which was to find demonic treasures and demonic creatures, as well as the remaining 2 demon beauties. The evil-looking young man quickly took out a large pile of demonic creatures, and Zhao Fu looked at them. Even though they were not bad, none of them were to his liking. "You want to live with these?" Zhao Fu felt quite dissatisfied as he looked at the evil-looking young man. The evil-looking young man said in fear, "My mother has even better things. I'll bring you back, and she'll definitely give them to you." "How strong is your faction?" Zhao Fu asked. He had to be clear about this, or else if Zhao Fu and the others went and found that they were not a match for them, it would be quite awkward. The evil-looking young man knelt and obediently introduced the faction to Zhao Fu. Following this, Zhao Fu found out about that faction. That faction controlled 100 or so cities nearby and was attached to a powerful sect. His mother was the leader of that faction, and her cultivation had just reached the extreme divine realm. The 100 or so cities here could not compare to the 100 or so cities in the outer domain or the inner domain. After all, there were stage 5 soldiers here, and 100 cities could sweep through a small kingdom in the outer domain. Zhao Fu felt that he could still deal with them. Even if he couldn't kill them, escaping was not a problem, so Zhao Fu still agreed to help him. Within the city lord's residence, there was a voluptuous and beautiful middle-aged woman with bright red lipstick. She gave off a ruthless aura and was the leader of the faction, Mo Qingli. Reporting to the city lord, "The rebellion has been suppressed, but young master did not lead the army there." Hearing this, a trace of anger appeared on Mo Qingli's face. She knew what this disobedient son of hers had gone to do, and she was determined to teach him a good lesson when he came back. Boom, 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 waves of powerful auras descended, causing Mo Qingli's expression to fall. She hurriedly walked out of the room and saw 11 cloaked figures in the air, one of whom was holding her son. "Mother, hurry and save me. The 200,000 soldiers you asked me to lead were all killed by them." The evil-looking young man cried out when he saw his mother. Mo Qingli could tell that her son had offended these people. She had always told him not to offend those major figures because they could not afford to offend them, or else he would pay the price sooner or later. This day had finally come. "Everyone, I don't know how my son offended you, but I apologize to you. Please spare my son." Mo Qingli could sense the powerful auras of the people in the air. Most of them were stronger than her, and she could tell that their identities were not simple. All of them gave off noble auras, and none of them were ordinary people. She knew that with her strength, she would not be able to stop these people. As such, she could only look serious and apologize to Zhao Fu and the others. Zhao Fu's gaze fell on the beautiful middle-aged woman, and he smiled as he said, "I only need powerful demonic treasures. As long as you can satisfy me, I'll spare your son. Otherwise, I don't mind destroying your faction. Also, don't use your sect as a shield. Let me tell you, even if it's an empire, I won't fear it." Mo Qingli felt quite startled. She could already imagine how terrifying Zhao Fu and the others' identities were. When she had heard Zhao Fu's domineering words, she had wanted to use her sect to shock him. However, the other side already knew and did not show any fear at all, directly coming to find her faction. She naturally had some powerful demonic treasures, and if she could resolve this matter, Mo Qingli naturally had her reasons. Mo Qingli took out a few powerful demonic treasures and said, "These are my apologies. I wonder if Sir is satisfied with them?" Zhao Fu looked at the demonic treasures and found that there was a demon tree seed. It was oval-shaped and as big as a fist. It was jet black and had many inscriptions on it, forming a demonic face. The seed gave off a powerful demonic qi. This demon tree seed could be used to transform into the evil flower demon, and Zhao Fu gave a satisfied smile. After the evil flower demon devoured some people's flesh, it would be able to use this seed to transform into the evil flower demon. Seeing Zhao Fu accept the items, Mo Qingli let out a sigh of relief. This matter was most likely resolved now. However, Zhao Fu's next words killed this thought. "Your son said he wanted to sleep with my woman. I want you to become my female attendant and serve me." Mo Qingli felt quite furious and wanted to refuse, but her son was still in their hands. Moreover, a powerful person had locked onto her, and it was the person with the most powerful aura, who was almost at the Emperor Heaven realm. If she dared to move or refuse, she felt that she would be instantly killed by that person. These people's identities were simply too terrifying, and she could not afford to offend any of them. The person who had locked onto her was naturally Zhu Tianling. With her strength, she could instantly kill Mo Qingli, as she came from a faction that could rival an empire. "Mother, hurry up and save me." The evil-looking young man in Zhao Fu's hand cried out in fear. Even though he did not want his mother to serve someone else, he did not want to die even more. Mo Qingli had been quite hesitant, but hearing this, she sighed and said, "I can agree, but I still have some matters to take care of. Can you give me some time?" Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Following this, they went to the city hall. Mo Qingli ordered people to call her eldest son back and let him take control of the faction. She then called over the faction's important figures to tell them some things. After she took care of these matters, Zhao Fu enjoyed this beautiful woman. The first time the evil-looking young man saw his mother's face was red, and she gave off an alluring aura. She powerlessly leaned against Zhao Fu's chest, and he knew that Zhao Fu had done it with his mother. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.